Okay, there we go. Got it. One sec. There we go. Ugh. Hello, J-Lo. Alright, let me start voting, please. There we go. Oh, right then. Time to do a little bit of Game Awards voting here, boys. Yeah, I saw this one up today, and I was like, well, I don't have anything to do this afternoon. I may as well, like, stream this. May as well, right? I haven't streamed in a little while. I don't see why not, you know? So, yeah. We will be streaming... We'll be streaming this and a reaction later to a certain video. Hello, Casual. So, yeah. Just gonna do a little bit of voting here. Put that in that mode. 33 is so gassed up. Well, here's the thing. While I do agree with you, Spectro, I am also gonna vote for it for Game of the Year. While I do agree, I am also gonna vote for it. It's not the greatest game of all time, but it is a really good game. But yeah. So yeah, we'll wait a second. Yeah, we're gonna vote here on all this stuff, and then we're gonna go and watch this. This guy's original boss ranking is the reason why I made mine, because I was like, this is so awful. Oh my god, I have to make mine. And I saw like he made one that I hadn't seen. I already I preemptively disliked it, by the way. He made one that I hadn't seen, so we're gonna watch that after this and just see if it's as bad as the first one. So we're gonna do a bit of both, and we'll just have the background music for this part. Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and start. So they put the big one first. That's so sad. So so Game of the Year, right? Options, you know, Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong, Hades, Hollow Knight, Kingdom Come. I've thrown a lot of shade at Expedition 33 over this year for a lot of reasons. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 video game, right? I do not. But I think that it is still a great game. So out of these, I am going to pick Clair Obscur for Game of the Year. I do pick Clair Obscur as Game of the Year. I do. Best Game Direction. Here, I like the idea behind Split Fiction. I'm not a roguelike enjoyer. Ghost of Yotei just seemed woefully unappealing to me. Death Stranding is just, I don't agree with the way Kojima really takes this series, so I do have to give this to Clair Obscur as well. Best Narrative. One of these three. Either Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, or Silent Hill. I am not going to pick Clair Obscur here. I'm not. Mostly because I don't like the third act of Expedition 33. I think that Act 1 is incredible. Act 2 is very good. And Act 3 just really drops the ball in just about every way. I am not going to pick Clair Obscur for this. I'm not going to pick Death Stranding 2. I am going to choose Silent Hill F. Silent Hill F had a good story. I'm going to go with this. I'm not going with Clair Obscur for best narrative. I can't do it. I just don't like Act 3. Don't like it. Didn't care for it. Not in the slightest. I was so frustrated when I saw that was the direction they were going at the start of Act 3. I was so frustrated with it. I have to go Silent Hill. Best art direction. Now, this is a tough one. I don't think Death Stranding 2 should be here. Death Stranding 2 is raw graphical fidelity with 0 art direction. That's Death Stranding 2. I don't know what this is doing here. I like all these. You know, Silk Song looks great. Hades looks great. Ghost of Yotei looks great. But again, I think I am going to have to give this to Clair Obscur. Clair Obscur has fantastic art direction. Fantastic. It is, you know, just a lot of graphical fidelity, you know, more so than these two back here. But I do really like the way Clair Obscur looks, for sure. Is best for gameplay. I don't play Arc Raiders. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm going to go Clair Obscur here. I am. Okay. Best score in music. Okay, I'm sorry to this. I'm sorry to this. I'm sorry to this. I'm sorry to this. This is a sweep. Clair Obscur. We're moving on. Clair Obscur wins best soundtrack. Not even close. Best audio design. This one is free. This is free. This 100% goes to Silent Hill. There's no way it doesn't. I'll back out of this. Like, Battlefield 6 has good sound design. Clair Obscur is fine. This is fine. Not good. What is this doing here? Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going Silent Hill F for this. Silent Hill F. Best performance. Now, we have got competition here. This is tough. Not you, not you, and not you. Not Troy Baker, not her, and not her. It's between the three from Clair Obscur. I am going to give it to Charlie Cox. I think I am. I am going to give this one to Charlie Cox 100%. Ben Starr was incredible. And Jennifer English was also incredible. They both were. Charlie Cox as Gustav was one of the most, like, I don't know, he was so human. He just the way he portrayed him, it was incredible. I hate to say it, you know, but I do have to give this to Charlie Cox. I do. I think Charlie Cox had the best performance of the year. Ben Starr was good too, and so was Jennifer English, but I do have to give it to Charlie. Have you watched Daredevil? Yes, I watched Daredevil. Yeah, I have to give it to Charlie. He just absolutely nailed it as Gustav. For this, innovation, accessibility, I didn't play these. I need to play Dark Ages. I like 2016 and Eternal. I haven't played it yet, but I am going to pick Doom just because I like Doom. What? We've reached the edge. I don't think I have, dog. What's going on? What, the website go down? Come on now. Vote now. View all categories. Games for Impact. There we go. Alright, back on track. For this, don't care. I'm gonna go with South of Midnight because it had a cool art style. You want to know something that's not, like, why is South of Midnight not nominated for Best Art Direction? South of Midnight 100% should be. I don't know why that isn't there. Best Ongoing, FF14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, No Man's Sky. I'm going to go with my beloved, with my baby, with my goat. I'm going to go with Helldivers 2. I was playing this earlier. This game is dead. I love Helldivers 2. I love this game to death, man. This is like the most fun video game I've ever played in my life, is Helldivers. I love it so much. Best Community Support, Baldur's Gate, 14, Fortnite, Helldivers, No Man's Sky. Chat, we're going with a little bit of Helldivers 2 action yet again. What can I say? Best Independent Game. Okay, what my vote goes to is not present. Because my vote goes to No, I'm Not a Human. My vote goes to No, I'm Not a Human. This is where my vote goes for best indie game. As for why it isn't here, I have no idea. But more so than all of these, my vote goes to No, I'm Not a Human. I don't know why this game is not here, but I 100% give it to this game. 100% No, I'm Not a Human is where my vote goes for this. But it's not there, so out of these, I'm picking Clair Obscur. You alone? Yeah, I see you know ball as well, you know. Of these, I am picking Clair Obscur. But my vote goes to No, I'm Not a Human. Why is it doing this? Must be a lot of people trying to vote. Site's lagging real bad. Yeah, must be a lot of people trying to vote. Yeah, must be. Wow. Okay, there we go. Good. Got it. So yeah, for this, I'm going to vote Clair Obscur, but just know my real vote goes to No, I'm Not a Human. Maybe it's blasphemous, but I would take No, I'm Not a Human over Clair Obscur. I would. I love that game. What's going on here? I already voted for this. Why is it? May see another show for the Dustbloods. I wouldn't rule it out. If I had to just guess what will be at the Game Awards, well, I guess if I had to guess where Dustbloods is gonna show up, probably not the Game Awards. I think Nintendo probably shows that off. Why is this not working? Bro, what in the world is... This website is, like, not holding up super well. Just try and reload it. I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay. Vote now. Okay. I'm opening a new tab, actually. Bro, what is going on with this site? What? Okay, let me vote, please. Not working for me either. I guess there's a lot of people trying to vote. Okay, we'll tell you what. We'll leave it open. Game of the Year was today. We're just voting. We're voting. We already did some of them. This is kind of Borkin at the moment. Yeah, this is Borkin. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll come back to this in a bit because the website is just not working right now. Yeah, it's not working at all, actually. Jesus, man. All right. Game Awards voting. Let me see. Try to do it from here. Yeah, website is not working, so we might just have to do some of the reaction now and then come back to this, maybe? No, okay. Okay, we're good. We're here. We're good. Okay. We're back on best independent game, I guess. Nope, website froze up again. Okay, here we are. So yeah, like I was saying for this, listen, is misinput, you know. Left for GTA 6. Yeah, it is for sure. So yeah, like I was saying for this section, oh, let's play this again. Like I was saying for this section, my vote for best indie goes to No, I'm Not a Human, but out of these, I'm picking Clair Obscur. But I would choose No, I'm Not a Human out of these. I would take No, I'm Not a Human over all those. Same thing right here. I am going to take Clair Obscur, but I would pick No, I'm Not a Human. Best mobile game. I don't play any of these. I don't play any of them. But I'm going to just choose Persona. I don't know any of them. So I will go with the thing I am most familiar with here, which is Persona. And here it is again. Okay, so this is just a return. This is just a recurring thing here, it seems. Yeah, website's just borking. Have you seen the Red Dead 1 mobile port? I have not, no. Brother, please, for the love of God. Yeah, okay, so this is down. Alright, this is down right now. That's fine. We're going to do some of this. Maybe we'll watch through F tier and just see what happens here. So we'll go ahead and react to some of this, and then we'll loop back around to Game Awards, because this site is just not having it right now. So yeah, let's go and do a little bit of reacting, and then we'll loop back around. So, like I said a minute ago, this guy, he has made 2 of these before. The first one he made, it was his video and Chopper's video that made me go out and make my own boss ranking. I made it out of spite because I thought these videos were so awful that, like, I had to make my own ranking. And he has made one here that I have not seen yet. I've already disliked it just in advance. I have not seen this video yet. So we're going to try and watch this. We'll try and pause as little as possible.
Around a month ago, I released a video ranking all
yeah, this video is by Arcade K17. Yeah, this is the video that made me make mine.
From worst to best, but that was before the DLC.
This guy's pretty honest in his rankings. Well, he's wrong. His first one was so bad that it made me make mine.
After the DLC came out, but the reason why I dropped it before is kind of a long story. So this video is basically a remaster of that one, but now I've included the main DLC bosses.
Alright,
in it as
we're gonna see what he's got to
so
say.
Without wasting any more of your time, let's get right into the video. So today I decided to challenge myself and rank every single Souls boss.
Yep.
From the absolute
Yeah, this is by
worst to the
Arcade
best.
K17.
All in one video, not as a tier list, but an actual in-depth video. This is honestly the longest, most time-consuming video I've ever made, and if
Bro, you don't know. You don't even know, dog. You say this is the longest, most time-consuming video, bro. You don't even know. Look at this. Look at this. You like, dog, you don't know. You don't know. This video is twice as long. Come on now. Yeah.
support, give this video a like, and also check out my Patreon and Discord. I'll talk more about the Patreon at the end of the video.
See where he
So,
puts
what are the
Gwen. We'll
reasons for
see.
this?
We'll
Well,
see.
I'm ranking every single Souls boss from Demon Souls all the way up to Elden Ring, and this includes most of the mini bosses as well.
Okay, including
Now, to
Shadow of
be
the Earth
completely
Tree.
honest, bosses from the Chalice dungeons and certain mini bosses from Elden Ring won't make it on the
This is what I hate. I hate it when people do this in rankings. Like, okay, yeah, don't count these 3, but like, not counting Thumerian Descendant, Elder, Undead Giant, Watchdog, Queen Yarnum, Abhorrent Beast, Bloodletting Beast. Like, why? Why are you not including these? It's cause it's cause you're lazy. Just say you're lazy and don't want to play the Chalice dungeons. Like, just say it, bruh. Just say you're lazy and don't want to play them. What Champion's Grave Tender? What, this didn't make it? This didn't make it on the list, dog. It's a boss. You can't omit it just because it's from a game you like. Come on now. Come on now. What are you doing? What are you doing? What else didn't make it? The inner bosses? He didn't place the inner bosses. He didn't place Shichiman War. Did he? Okay, are these all the ones he didn't place? Because if he didn't place some of these Sekiro mini bosses, dude. What bosses from Elden Ring did he not place? Borealis, Decaying Exikes, Ancestor Spirit. He didn't place the reskins, I guess. We'll see. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, not placing Chalice dungeons, like, dog, just say you're lazy. That's all you have to do. Like, just say you're incredibly lazy and don't want to do that. Just be honest.
list, because most of the Chalice dungeon boss fights are rather boring and some are just reskins, while in Elden
You're wrong.
Ring's case, some mini bosses are just regular enemies that were given a boss.
Well, this is true. Don't include Beastman of Farum Azula. But, like, bruh, Thumerian Elder is better than, like, at least 70% of the bosses in the entire series. Like, what do you mean
There are going to
you
be
didn't
tons of
include
actual
chalice
core
bosses?
important mini bosses
Again,
that shows
say
up
you're
on the
lazy.
list. Mostly the ones I've encountered. Now, I did say that this won't be your typical tier list video, but I'm going to be ranking the bosses in different tiers, starting from F all
Oh
the
man,
way
I'm
up to
nervous.
F. One final thing before I get into the list, this is just my opinion. Not because I say a boss is better than the other doesn't mean that you should automatically change your mind and agree, unless of course you already agreed with it before. But without wasting any more of
We'll
your
see.
time, let's get right into
Oh
the
man, I'm
list.
nervous.
And at the very last place, at the very bottom,
You know, I guess I should expect this. I don't think Bed of Chaos is the worst boss in the series. I don't think she is. I can name 10 bosses I think are worse than Bed of Chaos. However, Bed of Chaos is in the bottom 15, in the bottom 14, 13, 12. What I'm getting at here is I don't think Bed of Chaos is dead last. I don't think Bed of Chaos is dead last, bro.
bottom of F tier, we have the Bed of Chaos. This piece of dog shit deserves this spot for a reason.
Nah,
I've never hated a
I
boss
disagree.
fight more than the Bed of Chaos. Everything about it sucks. The arena is bland and boring. The boss moveset is also lackluster.
Yeah, I mean this
and
boss.
annoying
Yeah,
to
oh,
deal
wrong
with,
button. Yeah,
especially
this boss sucks, but like
with
it's not the
speed
worst in the
attacks.
series.
The arena also crumbles, which can lead you to fall off pretty easily. And
What do you do? Like what do you mean? You rolled into the hole. You rolled into the hole, dog. What are you doing? What are you doing?
easily. And let's not forget the worst part. The platforming jump you need to make.
Like you're not even you're not even close.
Center of the tree. I literally had to change my jump input because for some reason every time I press L3 to jump, my character will just jump towards the left. And I think it's because the movement in Dark Souls 1 is a bit more sensitive. But that aside,
I think it's because you're stupid, dog. Like,
the worst part of the fight.
Yeah, like the fight sucks. The fight sucks, but like it's not the worst boss in the series.
Arm sweep every second.
Watch him put Dragon God next.
Genuinely the worst boss fight in Soulsborne history, and difficulty wise, I would give it a 10 out of 10, but for all the bad reasons.
10 out of 10 difficulty. This boss checkpoints your progress, by the way. 10 out of 10 difficulty. This boss checkpoints your progress, in case you don't know.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. Moving on. Next up, we have Mikolash, host of the night.
Mikolash is not the second worst boss in the series, dog. What are you talking about?
The second worst boss in Souls history. Now, the reason
You know what? Let's do a fun little compare and contrast here. I actually have just the thing for my list. It was this guy. God bless him. This dude who went through and logged all my placements. Where did I put Mikolash? Mikolash was like 230 something, I think. Where is Mikolash? Or is he 220 something? 214. Mikolash is bad. Yeah, Mikolash is a bad boss, but he's not the second worst in the series.
Gets this spot is because 90% of the time you're chasing him, and on your first encounter, it's kind of hard to tell that there's a pattern to his run. But chasing him isn't just the bad part. Fighting him is also lackluster and underwhelming.
Yeah, he's a bad boss. I'm not gonna argue that he's not a bad boss.
Attack over and over and over again.
He's spam. I mean, yeah, it's you can just hit him and then step to the side.
Attack you. But the real worst part is the second phase where he just runs away from you again, and then you have to chase him into this room and fight him. But this time he has more attacks in his arsenal, and one of them being this annoying ass attack called A Call Beyond that can literally one-shot you. Dodging this.
I mean, I know how to. I mean, A Call Beyond's not that difficult to dodge.
The time you'll try to dodge sideways or behind, and that would.
There's 100k views on this vid. Yeah.
Just get you.
Oh wait, you talking about me or him? Oh, I have more views than he does. Eat shit, Arcade. Wow, what a sack of shit. Look at this. Look at this. My vid's been out for like his vid's like a year older than mine. I got twice the views. Eat shit, Arcade. And
overall, the difficulty on this boss gets a 9, and in terms of overall rating and enjoyment, well, he's in F tier for a reason. Next up for F tier, we have the Witches of Hemwick.
Like, what do you mean, Witches of Hemwick? Like, yes, Witches of Hemwick is bad. Like, bro, you're gonna tell me Prowling Magus is better? You're gonna tell me that the Covetous Demon's a better boss? You're gonna tell me that Senesax is better? You're gonna tell me that the Grave Champion and Great Wolf is better? You're gonna look me in the eyes and say that the Belfry Gargoyles in DS2 are better than the Witches? Like, what? Like, I don't know what you're getting at here. Like, I'd fight the Witches of Hemwick any day of the week before I go fight the Crucible Knight duo again, bro. Come on.
This boss ranks super low due to how lackluster lackluster the fight is. And just a side note, I'm gonna be using lackluster a lot in this video because my vocabulary.
It's because you're reading off the wiki. That's why you're using it a lot.
Books,
You're reading
I
off the
guess.
wiki.
But I will try to use some other words, so don't worry. But you know what else is lackluster? These guys' moveset. All they have is an annoying ass grab attack and the occasional attacks from the weird, creepy ass enemies they summon. But did you know that you could actually get rid of them by having insights? Look, everyone and their mom knows that, bro. And doing that just makes the fight even more easier than what it already is. But that's a good thing because who in their right mind wants to spend 10 minutes of their time fighting the Witches of Henwick?
I mean, yeah,
Absolutely
it's a bad boss.
unless you're sick in the head.
It's a bad boss. Like, I'm not gonna
Otherwise, the fight gets
argue that it's not bad, but I will argue that it's not third worst in the
Overall,
series.
It's just a mid fight. Actually, scratch that. It's way below mid, but it gets a pass for being super easy and not overstaying its welcome. Now we have the folding screen monkey.
What do you mean, dude? Like, like, what are you talking about? 235 folding screen monkeys. This is the 4th worst boss in the series. 4th worst in the series? Like, what? Like, like, what do you mean? How is this? This is the best gimmick fight FromSoft has ever done, by the way. This is the best puzzle boss they've ever done. By far, this is the best puzzle they've ever done. No axe, I'm going somewhere. But yeah, this is not the 4th worst boss in the series, dog. What are you even talking about? Like, I can't take you seriously. 4th worst in the series. Like, this is just a sign of low intelligence, is it not? Is this not just a sign of extremely low intelligence? Like, having this low?
Basically, they're based on the old Japanese proverb, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil, and do no evil. And each of the monkeys represent one of this. But with a boss with an interesting concept like this, there's no way they could mess this up, right? Wrong. The fight goes on for way too long, and it's actually just a cat and mouse game. I do give them credit though for trying to make the players sit down and study a boss that doesn't just require swinging a big sword until the health bar.
He's retarded. I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to do, bro, come on. Like, ain't nobody got time to read the patterns of chasing 3 boring ass monkeys around. Bro, I just want to bash some heads in with no strategies involved. But I can.
Like, why are you making this video, dude? Like, this right here is the problem with the whole Souls community. This right here.
Bro, I just want to bash some heads in with no strategies involved.
There it is. There it is.
But I can at least say that the fight can be done pretty quickly on subsequent playthroughs with the right strategy.
Like, this is a sign of this dude's IQ is like 46. This dude has an IQ of 46, guaranteed.
And at the end of the day, it's a pretty boring fight that overstays its welcome. Royal Rat Vanguard. It's just a bunch of rats.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the main rat has
Yep.
a mohawk.
Not gonna argue.
Funny, I'm not gonna lie. Armored Spider. One thing I realized.
What? Armored Spider. I put that like 130. Yeah, 134 Armored Spider.
With Demon Souls is that a lot of the bosses felt a bit gimmicky. This thing being one.
Felt a bit gimmicky. So Demon Souls worlds follow a very simple structure, which is the first boss is a gimmick fight, the second boss is a straight up fight, and the third boss is a more cinematic encounter. And that's what this is. This is the gimmick fight.
There's not much to be said about the spider. Just go up, attack its thing. I don't really know what it is, but just attack it and run all the way back when it starts pissing all over the floor, because the ground is gonna ignite in flames. Dodges well. Web attacks while running towards him, and
I know how to do a Spectro, but I for the most part remember where I placed everything here.
That's it. Just a regular ass boss fight. At least the design is kind of cool.
This fight is not that, by the way. This is not the 6th or 7th worst boss in the series. This is not, by the way. Like, I would fight Armored Spider any day of the week. Any day of the week over like Jory from the DLC, brother. I would fight Armored Spider 100 times before I go fight Jory 1 time.
It's just a spider, bro. It's nothing really crazy. Godskin Duo. Ooh, I couldn't wait.
This is a skill issue right here. This is a skill issue. So here's the thing with Godskin Duo. Godskin Duo is not a good boss, but like it's only as bad as people say for the first little bit for the first little bit of the fight. Once you kill the first one, it becomes so easy because you just kind of cycle off between Godskins. But the first like minute is really tough here. But after that, it's not that bad. It's still not. I wouldn't say it's good, but yeah, I placed Godskin Duo a little bit higher. Godskin Duo is like 220 something for me. 227. There they are. Yep.
I hate to talk shit about these guys. What the hell was FromSoft thinking while making them? I guess they just looked at Ornstein and Smo and said, yeah, remember those two guys that the fans loved but we failed to make a
Oh god, this guy's gonna put Ornstein and Smo at like 25 or something.
test for to them, no matter how many times you tried. Yeah, let's add them here. But instead of making their moveset complement each other like Ornstein and Smo, we have them both coming at the player at
Ornstein and Smo, that's a very like weird thing that everybody says. Ornstein and Smo's movesets don't complement each other. You just need to get Smo stuck on something. Or, like, just get one of them stuck somewhere. Their movesets don't complement each other. You just get them stuck somewhere.
Fireballs when, you know, said player tries to heal. Like, come on, this is not it, bro. They saw a skinny guy and a fat guy and just said, you know what, let's just throw them.
Yeah, this fight's not good, but it's not like 8th worst in the series.
Again, their attacks don't complement each other at all. The big guy has this annoying ass rolling attack that sure you can stand on the pillars to avoid, but waiting for him to finish the attack takes so long. And not only that, but these guys have a lot of health, which can make fighting them without summons.
I don't think they do not have that much. Yeah, see the damage? These guys don't have that much health.
Gets a 9. I don't even know why I'm ranking the difficulty. Yeah, don't be surprised if I don't rank the.
He's gonna put Ornstein and Smo in the top 5 of Call of Duty if he does. If he does, I will crash out.
For half of these bosses. But overall, the Godskin Duo are just not it. They're not fun to fight at all. Capra Demon.
Okay,
is one of
based.
the most hated fights
Based.
in Dark Souls since we did
Based.
two things. The small arena
Bro, this is recording with the NVIDIA overlay.
causing
Actually, this probably isn't his footage.
awkward camera angles.
This is
and
probably
two
somebody
bitch-ass
else's footage.
dogs that can stun
Ornstein and
lock.
Smo's in the 70s. I would bump them up from where they are. They're like 130 for me, I think. 130, 120 something. Ornstein and Smo, where are they at? They're like 130 something. Where are they at here? 122. Ornstein and Smo. I would probably bump these guys at like 90 something. They'd go a little bit higher.
Causing the Capra Demon to kill you easily. The Capra Demon
Yeah,
on
this
its
fight's
own
not good. This is
actually
about
somewhat
right.
easy as
I would
it's
agree with
very
this.
Easy to dodge. But again, what makes this fight ranks this low is due to the dogs and the fact that it's
He's using your
just
footage. Well, my video was made after. It was made after his.
the enemy's jam.
My footage was made like a year late. My video was made like a year later, and I have twice the views he does, which is so nice.
Made in Austria or
Made in Australia. Yeah, this is I would this is based.
Austria. The lore behind this
Yep.
fight is okay.
Yep,
I guess.
I agree.
And yes, I said I guess because I forgot what the hell Demon Souls is even about. But this fight is so
This might really be an icy shock to you, but it is about Demon Souls.
embarrassingly bad. All you have to do is fight her boyfriend in this cramped spot and avoid most of his attacks. Because while this fight might be a joke, bro does hit like a truck. But it's easy to cheese him, and once you get past him and go down to her, all she does is talk to you, and then boom, she died out of nowhere. But yeah, this fight is putting me to sleep, so moving on.
Yep.
Golden Hippo. I hate this boss fight so much. I can't find any redeeming thing about it.
I think Golden Hippo is like 100 for me. Yeah, Golden Hippo is at 103. This is way too low. I like Golden Hippo. I can see why someone wouldn't like this guy, but I like him. I don't think he's that bad at all. He was probably just
It's literally
pressing
just
R1 a lot.
bitch-ass hippo that can bend its head through its
I
eyes.
imagine.
I swear, no matter how I position myself, he always turns his big dumbass face around and hit me. I can
Well,
literally be
that's why you have a dodge button.
on the other side of his body, and he would still find a way to hit me with his
That's why you have a dodge button.
head. Plus, his grab
Oh, we're in E tier. Let's see if this is working now. Okay, no, this is still not working.
attack is also weird as shit. So yeah, overall, this boss can rot in hell for all I care. Shoot King Alon, not to be.
Bro, I think wait, he didn't re-record
So
this.
yeah, overall, this boss
He just
can rot
hard
in
cut
hell for
between-
all I care.
Yeah. Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Shoot King Alon.
How do you feel about Expedition Sweep? I voted for some of this. Let me see. If I can see, it'd be so nice. I know what to load nominees. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know if I can fix it. Game awards. Site's down right now. I guess a lot of people are voting. I voted for Claire Obscure for a lot of stuff. I voted for it. I don't think it would win. It should win Best Indie, not for me. I would pick No, I'm Not a Human over it, but I did vote for it a lot.
Not to be confused with
Yeah,
Old
True King
King
of Lot
which
sucks.
is a far more superior battle. This guy's just a slug.
Yeah,
that
True
can
King of
kill.
Lot's not good.
Honestly, I feel
Base.
bad for even attacking him because, like, what the hell? He isn't even so easy. It's funny, like Miss Noble or Pinwheel, because he's actually the final boss of the game. Like, the game just ended on that lame-ass boss that can barely swing a sword to save his life. Before, I said that I felt bad for attacking him, but not gonna lie, killing him might be better because you're taking him out of his fucking misery, I guess. For a final boss battle, but this is just so underwhelming and disappointing. We're now heading into E tier. These are basically the bosses that aren't really fun or memorable, but at least they're not as bad as the ones in F tier. They're in between terrible and mid. First up, we have Rom the Vacuous Spider.
I think this is a little low for Rom. Rom's like 180 for me. 170. Where is Rom? I think I might have missed him. Whatever. Rom's, yeah, this is about right, I'll say. Oh, Rom's 191 for me. 191.
When it comes on to bosses
Fair.
that focuses on making you fight,
it's purposely bad to reflect the lore. I know that, but it's still not a good fight.
Some of the previous entries on
yeah, this is a little too low for Rom, for sure.
Unless they're done correctly. Rom, unfortunately, isn't done correctly. Now, you might be thinking, who am I to say what FromSoft should consider correct? Well, anything apart from whatever the fuck Rom is. You see, while Rom...
I mean, Rom is just an update on the Phalanx boss design. That's what it is. It's just an updated version of Phalanx. That's really all it is.
The boss fight itself is just terrible due to the amount of high damage.
This is the guy who thinks Margit and Starscourge are peak bosses, does he? Oh, no. Oh, no.
These little shits has this annoying ass jump attack that can wipe out your entire health bar. Not only that, but Rom's moveset only consists of summoning...
Oh, hold on. Is this working now? I already voted for this. Bro, this is just not... This is just... Jeff, fix your site. Yeah, fix your website, Jeff. Fix your website. Tweet at David Vonderhaar. See if we can fix it.
Shower, summoning meteors from the ground, and AoE.
Yeah, I guess we'll check this again in a bit.
She realizes that you're too close. Not only that, but the spiders that surround her makes it hard to hit her. And this sucks because attacking them isn't a viable option since their heads are made out of literal adamantium. So most players, including myself, would just avoid.
I mean, it's not that tough. You hit him, just hit him anywhere besides the head. You hit him on the legs, you hit him behind, like, anywhere.
And just head straight to Rom. Overall, Rom is just a terrible fight, but the reason why she finds herself in E tier and not F is because at least her arena looks cool. Grave Robbers. Yeah, just more enemies into
this is probably too high for Gank Robbers. Gank Robbers is probably the worst boss in the series.
So ass. First of all, it's hard to kill all of them when two of them keep chasing.
Like this is worse than Bed of Chaos, 100%.
Barely giving you any time to breathe. You know what? I'm not even gonna talk about this fight. Like, it's just 3 fucking enemies thrown into a fucking room, bro. Like, not even regular enemies. They're just like NPCs, bro. This is not even a boss fight, bro. Yeah, that's why the
I would say take a shot every time he says bro, but I would be unable to speak within 15 minutes.
Community dislikes them so much. I can't stand to.
What is this footage?
Talking about them. Ludin Zalin, or whatever their name is.
Ludin Zalin, I would probably put Ludin Zalin a little bit higher, but yeah.
For Dark Souls 2 realized that Alva was a decent boss fight, so you know what they did? They added 2 of them in a room and called it a day. Look, this is the same reason
Ludin Zalin's okay.
Stop shitting on Dark Souls 2 because it just does shit like this to piss the players off. First of all, let's not forget the horrible run back.
No. Including the run back in your assessment of the boss is the sign of a weak mind and even weaker character. All there is to it.
Alon's run back was bad.
No.
What are they thinking? And also, the bosses are just an exact copy of Alva, except the second one, which can now self-heal, which is annoying because it moves around a lot, which does not complement the slow pace of Dark Souls 2. Ludin Zalin are just not a fun.
Yeah, but they'll come to you. I mean,
period. Man-Eaters. I'm not gonna spend too much time
Yeah,
talking about
a little bit too low, but Man-Eaters isn't good.
lame ass boss because there's not much that needs to be said. Their attack pattern is annoying because they'll attack you and then fly up in the air.
Do you pronounce pattern as patterning? Sorry, let me not be mean. Let me not be mean.
Their attacks can knock you off the ledge or bridge or whatever you're fighting them on. So yeah, bad boss fight, that's about it. Phalanx, another really mediocre fight.
Yeah, Phalanx isn't anything
Phalanx
special.
Gets a pass as the first actual boss of the game, but the design is ugly.
Vanguard's the
It's
first boss.
literally just fighting a bunch of
Vanguard's not unkillable. Vanguard's first boss.
with shields and yeah, trying not to get hit by the spears. It's just boring. That's it. Chained Ogre. Sekiro is a game that gets
Chained Ogre. What in the world? As like, worst as what number was Bed of Chaos again? Like 200 as like the 15th worst boss. Chained Ogre is like the 15th worst boss, huh?
praised for its
Or whatever this
brilliant and
is.
addictive combat that focuses
I don't know. I don't know about this one.
and it deserves all the praise. But for some reason, FromSoft added a couple of bosses that doesn't follow the flow of combat that most other enemies in the game, do. The Chained Ogre is one of them. This boss sucks because most of the time it's just you running around him while he is doing an attack. Then
That's not true. You can deflect everything except the grabs, and the grabs are not that not that hard to dodge.
And running around him again, rinse and repeat. It's just not fun. And yes, I know you can use the flame barrel.
He's reading off the wiki. I guess he's reading off the wiki. That's the only thing I can assume for his
To
script.
get some damage in, but that still doesn't make it any more of a fun fight. And let's not forget, it's all.
I remember like this guy's original boss ranking list. Like it literally convinced me he hadn't played the games and he's just reading stuff online. Like he went to Reddit or something. Like that's what this guy's first list made me think. And I'm not seeing anything in this one to make me think otherwise.
Grab attack hitbox. Half-Light Spear of the Church.
Yeah,
I
Half-Light
love a boss
sucks.
from Dark Souls 3, and Half-Light is my least favorite fight from that game because he's basically a buffed up NPC that spams a lot. But what makes this fight worse is the painting guardians he summons that can heal him. Like, come on, bro, was that even necessary? It's just a lame fight.
Yeah, this fight's not good.
But at least it did something cool. Where
All the NPC fights in the series are not like there's not a single good NPC boss in the entire series.
Half-Light, but that doesn't save it from being a terrible beyond mid, encounter. Miss Noble, everyone's second favorite meme boss. Now,
I don't have anything to say about this. Miss Noble is a nothing
that's
encounter.
literally my bro right there. But I have to be honest, he's just too easy. I mean, bro takes a beating worse than a kid that forgot to give his drunk dad another beer. But at the same time, I think this was good and intentional because FromSoft knew that a lot of the bosses in Sekiro
That's an
are
interesting
hard
cut.
to sell. They probably just threw in Miss Noble as a quick confident boost for players. Still not a bad boss in my opinion, despite him being a joke.
Not a bad boss. He's in E tier. What do you mean he's not? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Patches. The human embodiment of diarrhea. Actually, I think that credit goes to Dung Eater. But Patches is just another meme
Is this
boss.
working now?
Bro literally gives up halfway through the fight.
Nope.
Again, the fight reminds me of
Fix your
Ace
website,
Attorney,
Jeff.
As it was a joke from the devs. And it's your typical NPC encounter. So it's not really like anything crazy special or whatever.
NPCs
Abductor
suck.
virgins, they get an edge over Patches.
Abductor
because they look
virgins?
cooler, but
You
other
included
than
abductor virgins, but you didn't include chalice bosses. You didn't include like Thumeria. You put like abductor virgins made the cut, but Thumeria and Elder didn't. Like, what do you?
Finding these two at a low level really sucks, so yeah, fuck them. At least their names are kind of funny, I guess. Brawling Magus and Congregation. Another
Prowling Magus is high. For a room full of generic enemies, he's got Prowling Magus a little high compared to my list.
multi.
What in the world is Prowling Magus doing up here?
Super easy. It's just a bunch of random ass enemies.
So you prefer Prowling Magus over like Chained Ogre? Like you put Prowling Magus. I'm not putting Prowling Magus over Godskin Duo. Godskin Duo is bad, but like at least they're something.
It's just lame. Also, if I'm not spending too much time on these guys, it's because there isn't really much to be talked about. So yeah, moving on. Belfry Gargoyles. FromSoft remembered
Gargoyles. That's an interesting pronunciation.
And said, hey, why not
I
just
need to try not to be mean. But this guy has only said like 3 words correctly in the entire video.
again, but make it a bit more annoying. because you have to fight like 5 of them, and you can fight up to 3 at once. It's like Dark Souls 2 took 10 steps forward and 50 steps backward with a lot of the stuff they were trying to do.
Oh, he's a DS2 hater. Yeah, hating DS2 is the sign of a weak mind and an even weaker character. That's what this is.
Fight is just a prime example of that. Fire Giant.
Like, dude, like, what are you talking about? Fire Giant, again, Fire Giant's not good, but, like, 20th worst boss in the series, like, there's literally no way. Like, what are you talking about? Literally, what are you talking about? Like, where did I put Fire Giant? It's like 120... Where are you, Fire Giant? 128. Like, I don't think Fire Giant's good, but, like, brother, he is not that bad, bruh.
Negative about this guy. Let me start with the positive.
Like, who hasn't he named yet out of this that's super bad? Like, who hasn't he named yet? Like, bro, you would fight Covetous Demon over Fire Giant? You're really picking the Moonlight Butterfly over Fire Giant? Is he including Senesax? I'm assuming he's not including Senesax. He should have said Senesax by now. Like, you would fight Curse Rotted Greatwood over Fire Giant? I don't believe him.
It's like the Beast Titan if he was a redhead. I also like the face on the stomach. That's about it with the compliments. Now, the boss fight itself genuinely sucks. The first phase is basically you just bashing in his...
This guy's reading stuff off Reddit. This guy's reading Reddit and YouTube comments.
...injured leg while he roams around the...
He didn't play these games. He's reading Reddit and YouTube comments. Ancient Dragon? Yeah, he hasn't said Ancient Dragon yet. Saying Ancient Dragon's better than Fire Giant.
But the worst part is the second phase, where it seems like his hands are his obvious weak points, but it's better off to just attack his legs instead. This guy took a lot of tries for me to beat on my first playthrough, and it was genuinely miserable. So I will forever hate the Fire Giant. Moonlight Butterfly. I know,
like, okay, at least it's right after, but nah, there's no way I can say Moonlight Butterfly is better than Fire Giant.
On my recent playthrough of Dark Souls 1, I died to this guy like 3 times. Yes, I know, get your laughs in or whatever, but after I spun the block,
well, this fight sucks. Yeah,
I managed to defeat it. Moonlight is a very shitty boss fight due to the awkward projectile hitbox. Like the crystal.
Yeah, this fight sucks.
This thing always spams hit me.
Where's Ancient Dragon?
I think I dodge. Same thing with its beam attack and the overhead explosive projectile. And even putting that aside, this boss is just fucking lame as hell. Basically, just you waiting for it to finish.
I beat Fire Giant first try personally. I think I did. I think I beat him on the second try. I think it was like the second try. This guy was stuck on Fire Giant for like a year. Is it? I don't know. I don't know anything about him. Like I said, I watched his first boss ranking video he did, and like it was like his and Chopper's videos were the ones that were like, okay, this is so awful, I have to make mine. And then I was like, and then, you know, I made mine and I got all that done. But this is his new one. This is the one I haven't seen yet. I have not seen this one, so we'll see.
Just boring. The OST playing in the background is
why
really
is that
nice, though.
Yeah, this side is broken. These are regular enemies.
Placing this side boss from Elden Ring onto this list, but I decided to do it.
These are regular enemies that you just find in Noxtella. Like I don't know what they're here.
Basic enemies thrown together in a boss room, so that automatically takes the fun out of it. But at least they're easy and don't overstay.
Maybe Millennia super easy.
The reason why this guy ranks higher than the previous bosses, especially Half-Light, at least he isn't annoying. And apparently, just like Half-Light, a random player can get summoned as the boss.
Yeah, Old Monk is whatever.
Blazing Bull, a boss that's similar to the...
Little low for Blazing Bull. Little harsh on Bull. Not too far off from mine. Blazing Bull's like, what, 140 for me? 150? I think he's around 147.
He doesn't really fall.
Little off, but yeah. No, little harsh on Bull.
Is to just chase and attack until it staggers him. But yeah, it's just a boring boss fight that's, you know, not really fun. Sakura Bull, just a bigger reskin.
I mean, same thing.
The reason why I rank it higher is because it's prettier looking than it, but that's about it. Still the same lame ass boss. The Crystallians. I'm gonna rank all the
yeah, Crystallians, fair.
They are the definition of okay. But one thing I like that gave me a scare in my first playthrough is the fact that they don't take a lot of damage until their skin breaks. And they go from scary and intimidating to pushovers.
Yeah, this is fair.
Something I'm 50-50 on. On one hand, I really like the robotic animations they have, but at the same time, they don't have a lot in their moveset.
Yeah, nothing to say.
These are just cave bosses, so I'm gonna give them a pass on roasting them. Deacons of the Deep. I don't want to start...
Guys, they're in the bottom half of the list. If you don't know, when Chopper did his boss ranking, He put Deacons of the Deep in like the top half of his list. Deacons of the Deep was in the top half.
Sentence by saying, "Oh, these guys are bad," blah blah blah. But you have to understand, these bosses in the lower tiers are genuinely not that good. Basically, it's just attacking the glowing red deacons and then waiting for
Yeah,
the main
this boss is not
deacon
good.
to appear. The fight is easy, but you can definitely
Yeah, Chopper had this guy in
push
like the
time
top half.
due
It's
to the
crazy.
ability to cover the whole room in cursed energy, like it's Jujutsu Kaisen or some shit. And that curse can literally insta-kill you if the bar fills up. But apart from that, they're not a super terrible boss. Just really lame and boring. Ancient Wyvern.
Ancient Wyvern, a little high on Ancient Wyvern, but okay, sure.
I think the reason why Ancient Wyvern gets a lot of hate is because he's not even funny bad like Mr.
Game
because
Awards.
he's just a one-hit kill. But at the same time, the reason
Deacons
why
are kind of a
Ancient
nothing burger
Wyvern
boss.
is
Yeah,
good
for
is
sure.
Because if you want, you can make him an actual challenge. Because basically, the right way of killing this thing is to traverse a small level of annoying enemies and reach above his head on a platform, then plunge attack. But if you're a madman, you can actually fight him without doing all of that. But trust me, it's not worth it. I mean, he barely takes any damage at all. Overall, he's
Make sure UPS in here.
Gimmick fight that gets a lot of shit from the community. Dragon God. Before playing
Dragon God, you know what? He put him higher than most people. I still think this is a bit too low for Dragon God. I know a lot of people complain like, "Oh, dude, I can't tell when he's looking at me." I'm like, well, like it helps if you look at the boss. It's very useful.
Dragon God was considered a disappointment by a lot of people in the community. So when
it's better than Prime Magus, yeah, like it's
came
nah.
out on PS5, I decided to try it, and I finally made my way to fight him. And yeah, I can see where the disappointment came from. He's basically a poorly done stealth boss. You have to hide behind the pillars so that he doesn't see you. And for a guy with 5 fucking eyes, you'd think that this would be hard, but no, he's basically blind. But hiding isn't the only thing you should be doing, because you have to make your way to 2 ballistas and shoot it, dealing massive damage. And after hitting it with both ballistas, he will be immobilized, and now you have to finish.
I hate how the ballistas look in the remake. Like, why do they look like alien weapons?
So now you can see why people thought this fight was a letdown, because he was basically hyped up in the trailers.
I mean, yeah, Dragon God isn't good, but he's not like the worst in the series.
The game, but unfortunately, he was way too easy. By the way, side note, why the hell does it have 2 freaking ballistas pointing at him in his own boss room? Like, what? Another weird thing is, isn't his name Dragon God? And you know dragons can fly, and it clearly has wings, so why not just fly? Whatever, man, I'm not gonna think too deeply about it, but before I move on, I just want to say something. I don't believe a boss should be hard for it to be good. You can have an easy boss.
Something out of Halo?
Really fun if it's
yeah. I don't know why the ballistas look like that. They don't look like that in the original.
A super hard fight that's just hard for the sake of being hard. I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I know it may sound like I'm just hating on any boss that's too easy or whatever, but trust me, that's not the case. Ceaseless Discharge. What the hell?
A little high for Ceaseless, huh? A little high on Ceaseless. I'd rather fight Dragon God than Ceaseless.
Ceaseless Discharge.
Yeah, Ceaseless is high.
Y'all couldn't think of anything else? I'm gonna let it slide though, because it's kind of funny. Anyway, Ceaseless is just your
this boss is like
boss
nothing
over you while you're on a narrow platform or ledge. If you're confused on
like he doesn't do
do
anything.
you remember those bosses that you'd fight in mostly like 2D platformers where there's some giant guy and you're fighting them on a small narrow platform like in Blasphemous or something? Anyways, that aside, Ceaseless is a boss that I don't like encountering, mostly because he's just lame. Yeah, sure, his design, while messed up,
Bro's fighting him with the
still
Drake
looks
sword.
cool
That's
in a
crazy.
weird way, but that's about it. Plus, I find it funny how you can just cheese him at the entrance and insta-kill him. Anyways, moving on. Centipede Demon.
Yeah, Centipede Demon, fair.
A bit weird since it
Fair,
seems
for
like
sure.
I was a tad bit overleveled for the fight, so it ended in a short.
No, this fight just sucks. You
I
you always kill this guy quickly. Is this working now? Can I finish my voting? No. Jeff, fix your website.
There, hoping that this boss would, put up more of a challenge, but no, he went down in a short time. But I'm gonna go off distant memory for this. The most I can say is that it's not really a hard boss fight. Just don't fight it at.
Yes, still haven't seen Curse Rod at Greatwood. Greatwood's coming up. Greatwood's coming up for sure. Also haven't seen Grave Tender and Great Wolf yet.
One or two of your flasks, but yeah, kind of an underwhelming boss fight, and the design is kind of just, I don't even like the design that much, but that's whatever. But yeah, that's kind of to be expected since
I haven't seen Grave Tender and Great Wolf or
and to be fair, the main boss of this
Greatwood
fucking sucks. We already talked about it. Pinwheel is a very easy boss to the point where he basically became a meme in the series. Pinwheel's difficult.
Yeah, Pinwheel's easy.
Weird to me. He felt like a super early game boss that was placed in a high level area. Maybe it was an inside joke with the devs, which is most likely the case as Miss Noble felt like one too. Thing is, the enemies around him felt way more intimidating and difficult, and so is the level design before and after facing him. In terms of movesets and attacks, I literally don't remember what his attacks are because by the time my brain started thinking again, he was already dead. So yeah, that's Pinwheel. At Dawn,
F is
Thief
for-
of Fire.
I think F is for terrible, D is for bad, C is okay, B is good, A is great, S is like the best. Yeah, I don't know.
The name that cool, you'd think, bro. Is
And
smart,
like, why are
but
you
the
including
fact that he's
NPCs?
lame
Like,
as
I didn't
fuck.
include these NPCs on my
But
list, dude.
no, he just
Because they would all
spams
just
attacks over
clog
and
up the
over.
bottom
Plus,
tiers.
he's super easy. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about him because he's like an NPC that they decided, to make a boss.
Well, that's exactly what he
Fool's
is.
Idol. The boss.
Nah, man. Fool's Idol is the best version of this gimmick. Out of Pinwheel, Crystal Sage, and Fool's Idol is still the best version of this gimmick. By far. Like, it's just so cool to, like, okay, she teleports away, you turn around and look, and you see all the traps on the ground light up, and you just, like, you see them, and if you remember where they are, you have to navigate around the room and not step on the traps. It's just testing how good your memory is for this sort of thing. Fool's Idol's a good boss. This is a good gimmick.
She disappears, summons her clones, and trying to find the right one, which is easy because there was only 3 clones. But the thing that's annoying about the fight is the symbol that appears on the ground that immobilizes you for.
Well, you can see them when they spawn. You can see them when they show up. Like
a couple seconds. But
it's like sort of like this gimmick too for phase 1. Not quite. No. Like I consider Rolana to be more like the Where's Waldo gimmicks, like Rolana, Deacons, Royal Rat, Vanguard, Celestial Emissary. Like that's a different type of gimmick. Not Rolana, Renala, not Rolana, Renala. It's different.
other than that, she's a weak.
I don't like Crystal Sage. But I like Fool's Idol
boss,
the most out of
she's not
these.
really fun. Jory the Elder Inquisitor.
Like, what are you doing up here, Jory? What are you doing up here? Is this guy lost? What is Jory doing up here? Like, this is way too high for Jory. This is way too high, man. What is he doing? Like, I'm sorry. What is Jory doing up here?
Jory sucks ass. That's all I'm gonna.
This fight is awful. Like we're putting Jory above Chained Ogre? Are we doing that? Are we putting Jory above the Chained Ogre? I'd fight Godskin Duo 5 times before I fight Jory.
I will explain. He's basically a regular mob type enemy that was given a health bar.
Yeah, this fight is
What makes him really
awful.
annoying to
This
deal
fight
with
is
the
atrocious.
fact that he can summon a holy attacks and the fact that he can summon a bunch of annoying enemies. He's just not a good boss. Period.
Yeah, this fight
Lone
sucks.
Shadow. To be honest,
What do you What do you mean the Lone Shadows? What? This guy hasn't played Sekiro. Like, dude, I had Lone Shadow so high. Where are they at? They're like 56 or 46, right? 45. I had the Lone Shadows like 200 spots higher than him. The Lone Shadows are so good. What? I'm Green Monster, Eliza P. I hate Green Monster. Hate him so much. Green Monster's awful. Yeah, what is this? Bruh, honestly, you can't catch me saying that. This dude's putting Curse Rotted Greatwood above the Lone Shadows in Sekiro. This dude is putting DS2 Ancient Dragon above the Lone Shadows. You can't catch me saying that. You will never catch me posting that. No.
Fights aren't bad, but the reason why they rank this low is because they
The Punisher couldn't get that take out of me.
always choose to battle you in the most cramped areas possible. I'm specifically talking about the one in the tunnel.
Well,
I
there's
swear, the
3
camera is
tunnel. What
fighting
the
me
hell?
harder
There's
than this
there's
fight.
4 of these
It's
things. Though.
just why would you play such an agile boss in such a cramped area where the camera is gonna mess up? I don't know.
Well, don't speak about this one encounter. Speak on the boss's moveset as a whole. Like,
wants to see us suffer at times. But yeah, overall, these guys aren't bad. I'm specifically talking about the one in the tunnel, Snake Eyes. At first, I felt awkward fighting
Snake
this man or
Eyes.
woman because their moveset
Where would I put Snake Eyes? It was around like 150-ish, right? I don't remember where Snake Eyes is. They were around like the mid tier, right? I don't see them. They're not jumping out to me. Oh no, 93. Yeah, I had Snake Eyes way higher.
used to confuse
I had
me.
Snake Eyes like
They
100
had
spots
that
above
one
him.
annoying grab attack that they would do quite often.
This isn't his footage, by the way. This is not his footage. This guy is not playing Charmless and Demon Bell. No shot. This is not his footage.
However, after learning
Record your own footage.
patterns, I realized that they aren't too bad. Plus, unlike the Lone Shadows, they choose to fight you in more open areas. Now we're gonna move on to D tier. These are the bosses that aren't bad, but just aren't super memorable. They have some
Brother, he hasn't said Valiant Gargs yet. He hasn't said Valiant Gargoyles. This dude put the Valiant Gargoyles above the Lone
I'm
Shadows.
not gonna see any of them in anyone's top.
You can't
First
catch
up
me
at
ever
the
saying that.
bottom of D
Like, what? Like, bro, I was too nice. I had forgotten how bad these things were. I put them, like, super low. Yeah, Valiant Gargs at 251 on my list. These things should be in, like, the bottom 10. I would rather fight the Bed of Chaos 10 times before Valiant Gargs again. I would rather fight the Bed of Chaos. I would rather fight a Bed of Chaos Dragon God duo gimmick boss before Valiant Gargs. Has Letta been mentioned? No.
Here we have the Valiant Gorgiles.
Gorgiles. I forgot. He says Gorgiles. That's a very interesting read on that word right there.
Go with yet another unfun duo fight. I usually recommend fighting
This
them
fight
with
is
someone higher
atrociously
level
awful.
just to defeat them quickly. On their own, they're not that bad, but together they're really annoying, especially with the poison mist.
This fight is horrible.
At least you have to only fight one of them.
Abhorrent dog shit is the only words I can use to describe. To describe
until,
this.
It reaches half health. Not a super bad fight, but just
No, this fight is atrociously awful.
super unremarkable.
He didn't fight this boss. He did not fight this boss. He watched somebody fight this guy and thought, oh, that's not too bad. He didn't fight this boss. He didn't fight him.
Black Blade Kindred. This spot isn't
BBK is too low.
only for Kindred, but for all the other solo Gargoyle bosses. Now, to be honest, unlike most people, I don't really hate fighting these guys. Don't get me wrong, though, I'm not usually super excited to fight them. But if I have the time and I want some extra runes, I don't mind fighting them. Now, Kindred can be annoying at times, especially with his
BBK is not bad. This BBK is actually really good. I like this BBK. I don't like the one that you fight in Mountaintops.
But its moveset is pretty.
This BBK is good though,
making it easy to tell when to attack from when not to attack, and that goes for all the Gargoyles as well. Now, the two main reasons why I think not a lot of people.
I'm trying not to make fun of him. I'm trying not to make fun of the way he says things. I'm trying not to.
Or the fact that there are reskins, meaning you have to fight them multiple times in the game, and also the fact that they can do a lot of damage, and sometimes they dodge a lot.
Or just like most things in Elden Ring.
You have a larger weapon. But overall, I don't think they're too bad. Trolls. Okay, so the reason why the trolls get...
Why is that? What? Why is that? First of all, these are above the Lone Shadows, by the way. Also, what? Why are... What? Why do the trolls even have a spot? I'm going to bring this up again. Like, the trolls got a spot on this list, but Thumerian Elder didn't.
It's a higher spot than the Gargoyles is because, sure, they're a reskin.
He didn't put Thumerian Elder on this because he couldn't find decent enough footage to watch. Because he didn't fight any of these. He fought none of these guys, brother.
They don't oversteer their welcome. Also, they just look funny. He is champions.
He fought like a handful of these bosses. Like he did like maybe he got to Godric and Elden Ring. You know, in Sekiro he got stonewalled at Chained Ogre probably. In Bloodborne he got filtered by Vicar Amelia probably.
This boss fight in Elden Ring is a unique encounter that pits you against a series of NPC invaders, offering a refreshing change from traditional boss battles. It's dynamic, challenging, and lore-rich context.
This fight sucks. This fight's awful.
Memorable fight within the game's expansive world. Yeah, that's cap. I was literally so bored trying to find something interesting to say about these guys. I had to give up and ask ChatGPT for help. Not a
Bro, you did it for the whole video. You ain't gotta lie, dude. Like, you ain't gotta lie. I can just tell off what you're saying. You don't have to lie. You did that for the whole video.
super bad boss, but they're just so boring.
This guy's Elden Range has a bias towards all of its bosses.
Definitely my least favorite mini boss in Sekiro.
And second, I don't think I don't know. This is probably about right for Headless. Not gonna say anything. This is probably about right. I doubt that this guy ever fought Headless, but this is probably about right.
Because they require perfect deflecting, but it's the other aspects of the fight that's bad. First of all, they deal terror damage, which can insta-kill you if the meter fills.
Look at you fucking guard bashing. Get good. Oh no, this isn't his footage. This is not his footage.
Your way to get divine confetti in order to deal damage to them.
Blasphemous Blade Amendment tier. It's real footage. Look, it's real footage. You might be onto something.
And having to find a limited and scarce resource in order to fight a mid boss is just weird in my opinion.
This is about right for Headless.
The Gaping Dragon is
this is about right for Gaping Dragon.
But it does its job well in my opinion.
Maybe a little too low. Yeah, probably a little too low for Gaping Dragon, but it's fine.
Interesting is that his moveset, at least his crawling animation, reminds me of the Magma Worm from Elden Ring. Now, in terms of difficulty, this fight was surprisingly easy. I mean, this thing looks scary as hell. So
I would fight Gaping Dragon 50 times before I fight the Magma Worm. I'm back, Karma. This is so bad. Lorenzo, it's worse than I thought it would be.
3 flasks instead of the usual 5 or 10. Overall, though, the Gaping Dragon is a mediocre encounter, but that doesn't mean it's bad or anything, because honestly, while this fight lacks in challenge, it definitely...
I wish he used his own footage. This might be his own footage. This might be his own footage. I wish he used his own footage for a lot of this stuff.
Commander Gaius.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you even going to say to justify Gaius being below Curse-Rotted Greatwood? Like, what are you even going to say? Like, yeah, I get it. I'm nicer to Gaius than most people. But, like, dude, where is Gaius at? Where is Gaius at on mine? It's like 40. Yeah, I went away for a second. 41. 41 for Gaius. Look at that. Like, I get it. I'm nicer to Gaius than most people are. But, like, what are you even gonna say to convince me that Gaius is below Ancient Dragon and Curse-Rotted Greatwood? Like, what are you even gonna say to convince me of this?
To be honest, I'm very...
Drives me crazy people hitting Gaping's feet instead of cutting his tail. Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. Like when he slams down, you hit him in the head. Absolutely. Like, what are you even gonna tell me to convince me that Gaius is worse than Ancient Dragon and Curse-Rotted Greatwood?
I can tell.
Also, champions Gravetender and Great Wolf. He hasn't said those yet.
He's a good boss.
I love Gaius. I'm nicer to Gaius than almost anybody else.
But just covered onto a pile of shit, and that pile of shit happens to be his shitty charge attack. That's all.
So he didn't fight this boss, by the way. Arcade, he didn't fight this boss. No shot. He saw people on Twitter say that the boss wasn't good, and that's what he's rolling with here. He saw a Reddit post about it. He didn't fight this boss.
Almost impossible to dodge. 2, his non-ending combos, and the fact that he barely gives you any room to punish. And 3, the fact that he can't stay still at all. All of those things really makes this boss fight a letdown, in my opinion. Falling Star.
Well, you wouldn't know. You didn't fight him.
Beast. Not the
Falling Star Beast. This is, I'll say fair. Fair. I don't like the Falling Star Beast. Might be a little bit low, but fair.
Some of these guys are really cool. Like, you're literally fighting an overgrown alien bull. Plus, for a bull, its moveset is pretty interesting and vast, especially its anti-gravity slam. While these guys are my go-to bosses when starting a new run, I can't deny that
what
they
is this
are
dude doing?
somewhat cool and fun to fight. Sometimes. Sin, the slumbering...
What? Like, I will never understand... Okay, if Calamite is not the next boss, then I will never understand this. Because Sin and Calamite, they hold hands. They're right next to each other. This is the... Nah. Sin is below the Ancient Dragon. Sin is below the Ancient Dragon.
I know a lot of people praise...
If Gwen is worse than Falling Star Beast. He hasn't placed Gwen yet. I would probably say I like Falling Star Beast more than Gwen. But still.
Best dragon fight in Dark Souls 2, but in my opinion, fighting him feels a bit lackluster. The fight
Bro, you didn't fight this boss. What are you talking about?
Itself kind of feels a bit janky as well. I don't know how to explain it, but I guess Sin kind of seems a bit stiff in his animation. But as a dragon fight, I think it's not bad because he does fly around and shoot fire, you know, which is...
He hasn't said Ancient Dragon, by the way. He hasn't said Ancient Dragon. He has Sin as the worst dragon boss in DS2, by the way.
Definitely.
He has Sin as the worst actual dragon in the series. That's crazy. The only dragons beneath him are Gaping Dragon, and Dragon God. That's and Ancient Wyvern. Any who think I hate Fortisax.
I know we're close to being the best dragon fight in the entire series.
Fortisax for me, where was he? He was like 220 something, I think. 230 something. Where's he at? 220. Which dragon Fortisax?
Crucible Knight duo.
Like, what is this doing here, dude? What are you talking about? He didn't fight this boss.
All the Crucible Knights under one spot, but these guys.
He fought them individually, but he didn't fight the duo.
Now, the only reason why they aren't lower is because, one, you can use summons to distract one of them, making the fight somewhat more tolerable.
No.
Two,
if you use summons, you don't make a boss ranking video. That's what that's the rule. If you use summons, you don't make a boss ranking video.
Means you can come back at a stronger level and defeat them. But that said, they're still kind of ass. I mean, what's with Souls games and throwing two super fast-paced enemies in one room and calling it a boss fight? On their own, they're pretty okay, but again, fighting them together is just overkill. Also, good luck trying to heal because these guys will attack you as soon as you try to
the duo sucks.
Royal Rat Authority.
Damn, this is high.
This thing is literally Sif's meth-headed
Watching is low audio. Oh, you need to be louder?
Cousin who never amounted to anything in its life. Unlike Sith, who is cute, cuddly, and noble, this guy is literally just a disease-ridden, overgrown dog rat. It looks like a regular-sized dog enemy that the devs just sized up a bit and give it a bit more moves in his arsenal.
This is high for
the reason why this
Authority
ranks in D tier is because of the annoying-ass rats and the toxin. And if you don't remember what toxin is, it's literally poison on crack. Overall, just a super mid boss. Lawrence, the first victim.
Like, okay, first of all, he didn't fight this boss. I guarantee you. Nah. Ancient Dragon, Curse Rod of Greatwood, and Gwyn are not better than Lawrence. No.
Lawrence, where do I even start with you? Throughout the
just skip it, please.
Main game of Bloodborne, we've heard Lawrence's name a couple times. So when I finally stumble on this guy,
I would judge his footage, but I know this isn't his footage.
Woke him up just to find out he was Lawrence.
Rat Authority and Lawrence are at the same. No. Rat Authority is way too high. I guess. I don't know.
I was kind of excited for an amazing boss fight, but unfortunately, what I got was a beefed up reskin of Cleric Beast.
There it is. Okay, Lawrence is a reskin of Cleric Beast for the first third of his health. He has the same attacks, but like he chains them differently, kind of like what Blue Smelter does. He chains the attacks together differently. And after you get through the first third, his moveset does change, and he does different things than Cleric Beast. And then the last third of his HP is completely different. He is Cleric Beast for the first third of his health bar, and then he's not Cleric Beast after that.
Except that
he's always similar, but he's not Cleric Beast.
The second phase is way more annoying, because for some reason his legs literally explodes and lava starts flowing out of his ass. Which makes the fight harder than it's supposed to be, because you now have to stick to his side, and even doing that, you're still gonna get hit.
No, you're not. You literally just strafe around him.
And he hits hard, trust me. Overall, he's just not really a good boss fight in my opinion. He's not super bad, but just not super good either. Wormface. Let's be honest.
Bro, we're not putting Wormface above Lawrence.
Expecting an S tier boss fight from a guy called Wormface. I mean, there's just.
I bet you there's some horrible Rule 34 of this guy, but I'm not taking the hit to look this up. His critique is funny because it's 90% a skill issue. I don't even want to do that.
He's pretty easy, except that his death blindness can be really annoying to deal with, and overall, it's just a basic fight. I mean, yeah, that's about it. Because let's be honest, no one cares about Wormface. Ancient Dragon.
There he is. Ancient Dragon is not better than Lawrence. I'm sorry, it's not. No, it is not. It is not. No, it's not.
A lot of mixed reception from the community. On one hand, a lot of people really appreciate the lore surrounding him and the challenge he brings. However, on the other hand, a lot of people hate his boring attacks, especially
This is so high for Ancient
one
Dragon.
where he flies up in the air, and he has an enormous health pool, which means that the fight lasts way.
Which actually, okay, this number for Ancient Dragon, I don't think is bad. This number is not bad, but there's so much stuff beneath him that just should not be below him. The number itself is fine. Has he said Senesax yet? I don't know if he's counting him. I'm going to assume he's not counting Senesax.
Long. While I do appreciate a hard fight, I do think that the Fire Breath is kind of bullshit. That's about it for me. Not the best dragon fight in the series by any means, but as a standard boss, I think he does his job pretty well. Old Iron King. Remember when I was talking about how a lot of the bosses in TV games are literally just big enemies towering over you while you're on a small platform? That's literally Old Iron King. His moveset isn't too spectacular or interesting, but one thing I can definitely say is that I love his presentation. His design is a bit generic if you ask me, but he's still cool at the end of the day. And his arena, while weird, is still interesting. Magma Worm. All the Magma Worms...
Dude, no, Magma Worm is... Magma Worm's too high.
Just bland if you ask me. Don't get me wrong.
This is too high for Magma Worm. This fight sucks.
Encounter, but let's be honest. They're not really all that exciting, especially their moveset. Speaking of moveset, I hate their crawling attack because for some reason, just even touching them can send you flying 20 feet backwards. Deathbirds. Design-wise, they get a 10. I really like their head for some reason.
I'll say this is about right, probably, for Deathrite Bird.
But other than that,
about right or maybe a little high.
They're not really super fun to fight, at least to me. They do have some cool attacks though, but I don't know. There's just something that I don't like about them. Also, speaking of design, I feel like they're like a cursed version of Tweety Bird or whatever. I don't know. I just realized that. Duke's Dear Freya. I'm not gonna lie, this boss is actually kind of cool.
Fair.
First of all, its design is awesome. It's literally a two-headed...
Fair, maybe a little bit too low, but I'll say fair.
It's spider, and sure, its moveset isn't too outstanding, as it just spams lasers all the time. And the spiders can make the fight a bit more annoying than it should be, but at the end of the day, it's a really dope-looking boss.
Page is just
Dark Sun Gwendolyn. Everyone...
I'll say a little low. I like Gwendolyn. I'm a fan of this boss. I like Gwendolyn for a couple reasons. But I'll say fair, maybe a little low.
Gwendolyn isn't really an exciting fight because most of it
Deathbirds are pretty cool, and the fight them is pretty... One fight is pretty... Yeah, I don't like them. Freya's a little better than 180 personally. Freya was like 160 on my list, I think. Duke's Dear Freya... Yeah, oh wow, 160 exactly. Yeah, true. I put Gwendolyn up way higher. Gwendolyn's like 117, I think. 116. Where you at? No, 124. Yeah, 124.
And dodging his various sorcery attacks, and then hitting him 1 or 2 times, and then repeating the process over again until he dies. So yeah, not really exciting. However, the lore behind
I think it's a good gimmick fight. I don't mind it.
Interesting because you're literally fighting the son of Gwyn.
Bro, see, Souls fans like this don't like any boss that isn't a guy with a sword slowly regaining his humanity.
The Lord of Cinder, and in order to fight him, you have to...
Hallway is actually finite, just very long. Yeah, it's not infinite.
Attack the illusion of Guinevere, which angers Gwendolyn. I don't really have anything else to say about him. He's just an okay fight. Leonin the Misbegotten.
Leonine Misbegotten. This is high for Misbegotten. Misbegotten sucks, brother.
Baby Gale, because their movesets are a bit similar. However, unlike Gale, this guy is just a reskin, and that kind of takes away his aura.
This guy sucks.
Excitement. But at the same time, surprisingly, he's actually a fun boss at the end of the day. Mimic Tear,
Mimic Tear, this is unironically the best NPC fight in the series because they stuck this gimmick where it's just you onto it. Like if we're counting like lore and everything, then Letta is obviously the best. But like just in terms of a fight, this is the best NPC fight by a mile.
Concept of this boss is cool. It's literally just you.
Leonite Misbegottens are good. Leonite Misbegottens are ass, brother. That's what you mean to say.
Yourself, which you would think would make a surprisingly hard boss, but no, Mimic Tear is super easy. But again, it's a cool concept to test out whether or not your build is good. The Last Giant. The Last Giant isn't really a super exciting or memorable boss fight, but I think that's the point. Because if I remember correctly, the guy is literally the Giant Lord from the past, but was kept prisoner by Vendrick. Now he's just a zombie-like creature. This boss isn't really to show how strong and powerful he is, but basically to show his fall from grace. In terms of gameplay, his attacks...
This is a little high for Last Giant. A little high.
Stomp around and then in it.
Fight Misbegotten, Shield Ash War repeatedly. Yeah, that one might actually be his footage. Misbegotten above Chained Ogre. As far as the crime, yeah, I agree. I agree. There's no way Misbegotten's better than Chained Ogre.
The second phase, he rips off his arms and uses it as a weapon, which is pretty cool and terrifying at the same time. But yeah, that's basically his boss fight in a nutshell. Cursed Rotted Greatwood.
For a while there, I was thinking he must have forgotten this guy, but no. Wow. 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 Curse Rotted Greatwood above some of these bosses down here. You can't catch me saying that. You can't catch me saying that. No way. You cannot catch me putting Curse Rotted Greatwood this high. Absolutely not. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, Greatwood must be like one of the only bosses in DS3 he actually killed. That's crazy.
I find the visual aspects of this fight interesting, as it looks like a cursed mutated tree that gains sentience. But from what I remember,
What do you mean it looks? That's just what it is.
In the
That's what it is.
Apparently the Greatwood was actually a spirit tree. However, the inhabitants of the undead settlement sealed away their curse into the tree, and after a while the tree was overflowing with these said curses, and now it became rotted and malformed.
Semantics.
This boss gets a lot of shit from the community, which I'm a bit 50-50 on.
What do you mean? It sucks.
Sure, the Rotted Greatwood might not be a super cool fight mechanic-wise, except for when it smashes the ground and you begin to fall, because that shit looks cool as hell. But it's still a cool encounter, at least for a first-time player.
Chained Ogre sucks. I mean, you can just say you didn't play Sekiro, Lorenzo. It's fine.
All-knowing.
Gideon, yeah, this is about right for Gideon.
Or what I like to call him, Gideon the all-yapping, because all bro does is talk and talk and talk. Even in his death, he's still yapping about something. Now, as an NPC fight, Gideon is actually one of the better ones.
This is about right for Gideon.
This is because he has a really cool thing where the more bosses you defeat, the more spell he has in his arsenal, which is kind of creepy.
Like Gargoyles from the Bell
Seems
Tower.
Like he was spying on you on your journey.
True.
His boss fight can be a bit annoying at times, though, as he literally just spams magic and incantations while barely giving you a second to breathe. But if you backstab him in the beginning and have a high damaging weapon, you can literally kill him under 1 minute. Long Arm Centipede. This thing ranks a bit higher than the rest because it's a boss that requires deflection. You know, that thing that is the main...
Well, it said, like, okay, he says it requires deflection as if you don't just spam L1 and then jump a couple sweeps.
Mechanic of Sekiro. So yeah, deflecting this guy is pretty fun, and if you're good enough, you can kill him under a minute. Crystal Sage.
Well, I mean, that's not a matter of good enough. It's a matter of spamming L1 and then jumping a sweep or two. Crystal Sage, this is a little high for Crystal Sage, I won't lie. Crystal Sage shouldn't be above Fool's Idol.
First ever Dark Souls 3 playthrough, this guy gave me such a hard time, especially in his second phase, where he summons a bunch of high damaging clones. But on subsequent playthroughs, he was really easy. It's not like there was some formula I had to figure out in order to beat him. No, it was just
I don't like Crystal Sage.
Sucked on my first playthrough. And come on, it was literally my first ever Souls game too, so count me some slack. Basically, all you have to do is just attack.
Yeah, Long Arm Centipede's fun.
Hurry up and kill his clones while dodging his crystal sorceries, and then attack him, rinse and repeat, just like any other boss fight. Ashina Elite. This guy is just a stronger, more buffed up enemy variant of the other Ashina
little low
roaming around. This fight shouldn't be too long if you're good at deflecting, because all he does is the same move over and over until his posture bar becomes full. Not really a super cool fight, but it's kind of a fun one, to be honest. Tree Spirits. The Tree Spirits are...
What? Nah. Nah. Just nah. That one got a laugh. I forgot about those things. Nah.
Some of my least favorite encounters in Elden Ring, mostly because of how weird their attack patterns are. Their attacks are so hard to read at times. Remember when I said that sometimes a boss with a simple, boring moveset can hold it back from, you know...
Yeah, nah. No, thank you, nah.
Basically, these guys are the opposite.
This is another candidate for worst boss in the series. Like, there's about 15 seats at the table for worst boss in the series, and Ulcerated Tree Spirit has got a seat at that table. Do you think I like Ulcerated Tree Spirits or not? Flip a coin, pick it out of the hat. I'm not sure. You know what? Subvert my expectations. I'll say no.
while also giving you a small amount of time to attack them. And unfortunately, that's kind of the trend of Elden Ring, where a boss does super long chains of combos and, attacks, and only giving you like a split second to attack.
Yeah, this is
them.
crazy.
Skeleton Lords. The Skeleton Lords
Fair.
are a bunch of skeleton that happens to be lords. Yeah, it's just a fucking skeleton fight.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh, I think this fight's interesting. This fight is interesting.
Ooh, that's fucking fun, I guess. Especially dealing with these same skeleton guys from Dark Souls 1. Like, man, this is just a really fun boss fight, isn't it? Executioner Chariot. At least compared to the Skeleton Lords, this boss fight is a bit more exciting. First off, it starts with you having to position yourself in the corners so you don't get hit by the chariot. Then making your way around and then pulling the lever, which drops the cell, which then causes the chariot to crash. Now the real fight begins. The horse's attacks are kind of weird to dodge, especially its charged headbutt, but overall, if you cleared out the necromancer guys and killed all the skeletons, then this fight shouldn't be too hard. Now, is it a super fun fight? Not really.
Nah.
But I can at least
it's whatever. This fight's whatever.
Mytha the Baneful Queen.
This is a little low for Mytha. I did put Mytha kind of high, but I think that is a little low. Mytha is 111 for me. Mytha buff Star Scourger on. I did that. This is okay for Mytha. Nah, Mytha's about, I'll say about 30 spots too low. 30, 40 spots too low for Mytha, for sure. Can't we bitch about the skeleton wheels? Yeah, like, I think 3 skeleton wheels show up. No, it's 2. I think it's 2 or 3.
Before I even start with the boss fight, what I find weird is how the devs thought that placing this windmill right here would make players think that, oh, I should burn it. Bro, it doesn't even look flammable. Now, the reason why I mention this is because setting the windmill on fire actually removes the poison from Mytha's boss room, making her fight a bit more bearable. In terms of moveset and attacks, just like many other Dark Souls 2 bosses, they were a bit boring and bland. Except for the one where she just yeets her head at you and causes a...
Mytha's an interesting boss. I like Mytha.
That's kind of cool, I guess. But overall, her difficulty is around a 9 with poison and a 5 without it. And in terms of quality, she's just mid. Tibia Mariner.
Tibia Mariner is goated. Don't talk bad about Tibia Mariner. That's my goat. That's my guy right there.
Their aestheticness is pretty cool. Their movesets are also kind of like interesting as well.
That's my goat right there.
Too much going on.
Real talk, this is probably fair for Tibia Mariner. This is probably about right.
Here,
I do like Tibia Mariner though.
Bolt splash and the giant
skeleton
funny beam, but they're still cool at the end of the day. All that aside, there isn't too much to be said here. I just think that the Tibia Mariner does its job pretty well as a field boss in Elden Ring. Covetous Demon, one of the bland...
What are you doing up here? What the hell are you doing up here, dude? What are you doing, Covetous? What? Why? How did you get here? Are you lost? He's lost.
Dark Souls 2. Yet for some reason, I really like fighting him. I don't know, maybe it's because he looks funny or the fact that he's so easy to the point where it's almost a meme. But he's just fun to me. I don't even know why. But he's only fair to rank him.
We got Covetous Demon above Commander Gaius, by the way. Covetous Demon is above Lawrence. What else is in here? That's crazy. That's crazy. He's really gone far in the world. Yeah, he has, man.
Since personal bias aside, he's still a rather boring boss. Scorpioness Nazca, Dolitry Quail.
This might be a little high for Nazca. I don't know. Maybe it's about right. I don't know. Nazca is the worst of the 3 bug ladies. Out of Quelaag, Ramina, and Nazca, Nazca's definitely the worst.
Except this time she's a scorpion. She doesn't give off the same visual aura as Quelaag, and the fight itself is boring. So is the arena. Demi-Human Queens. Another easy Elden Ring field boss, but for some odd reason, I actually like
this is a little high.
They remind me of some
a little high for Demi-Human Queens. These guys suck.
Bloodborne, but overall...
Covetous Demon or Wormface? Wormface definitely has the worst Rule 34 of the 2.
Cool encounter.
I think the real question is Wormface and Brainsucker.
Twin Dragon Riders. Another dual fight
fair.
Placed in the tight
fair spot for Twin Dragon Riders.
Zero purpose other than to just give the players an unnecessary bad time. The only good thing about these guys is that they don't have a lot of health, so dealing with them isn't too bad. So I guess they even failed at trying to challenge the players, by giving them an actually challenging fight. But the fact that there are a copy-pasted boss fight from earlier in the game doesn't help them at all either. Overall, they're not a bad fight, but just super lame. Like, they have zero aura. High Lord Wolnir. Now, speaking of...
I forgot about this guy. This guy's also too high. I completely forgot about Wolnir, man. I won't lie. Where is Wolnir for me? 247, that's about right. I'd still keep him about right there. Yeah, this is about fair for Wolnir. I completely forgot about this guy.
We have the High Lord himself.
Yeah, this site's still working.
Wolnir is technically a gimmick fight as you have to attack his bracelets.
Yeah, this is way too high for Wolnir.
Super easy, but the only attack that can really give you a hard time is if you get too close to his belly and all the gas he's been smoking will give you lung cancer or some shit, causing you to instantly die. But
well, lung cancer wouldn't make you instantly die the second you have it, but
he's one of the main reasons why I think that
being
playing
a stickler.
Dark Souls on your first playthrough is like playing a horror game. But despite his size and intimidating stature, bro is surprisingly easy, and he's not really fun to fight either. Living failures. These guys really
little low for failures. Covetous Demon is more gross than Wormface. 34 seems favorite Wormface content, but almost no Covetous. Yeah, I forgot about Sanctuary Guardian. Yeah, I would fight Living Failures over Sanctuary Guardian for sure. Sanctuary Guardian, yeah, I don't know why he isn't here yet. This is too low for Living Failures. Living Failures is just a better version of the Four Kings.
Live up to their names. They have some boring ass attacks because most of the time they will just swing their big stupid arms around and or occasionally headbutting the player or sometimes spam their magic attack. But the move they constantly use the most is the Meteor Shower, and at first you would think it's super hard to dodge, but no. All you have to do is go behind the tree and you're pretty much good. One thing I can definitely give them credit on is the fact that they do a lot of damage, but other than that, this fight is just so lame. But at least after defeating them, you get to fight one of the best bosses in the game. Throne 1.
Maria is not a top 5 boss in Bloodborne.
And Throne Defender.
This is too high for these two. Throne Guardians are way too high, brother.
Another duel fight. Now I've been shitting on a lot of
this fight's
bosses,
bad.
So I'm gonna just say something nice.
This fight's really bad.
Moving on. Twin Sentinels, a rather basic fight. It's just dudes swinging their
this is a bit too high.
Their health pool is really small, but the difficult part is fighting.
A little bit too high for Ruined Sentinels,
as it's kind of hard to space them out. But that's about it. I just realized that their attack patterns are a bit similar to the Crystallians from Elden Ring. That's kind of cool, I guess. Shadows of Yharnam. Holy shit!
What? What are you? What? What? What are you doing? Like, this is the best multi-enemy encounter in the Soul series. And it's not close, by the way. He misspelled Yharnam, dumbass. And I'm pretty sure it's... I don't know, whatever. But yeah. This is the best multi-enemy encounter in the series. 157. If this dude puts Crucible Knight and Misbegotten above Shadows of Yharnam, like, bro, we're gonna have to report this video for promoting terrorism. Like, this is... What's he gonna say?
Another gang squad fight. As much as I don't like Shadows of Yharnam, I can at least say that they aren't a boring boss fight because they will keep you on the edge of your seat. The reason why I say this is because it's a gang fight and you have to keep focus on all three of them.
I don't think he... I bet he never beat Shadows. I bet that's what it is. I bet he got here and got filtered by Shadows.
After taking down one of them, the other two grow snakes out of their head and now they can summon a giant snake out of them.
Yeah, he's wrong. Because you don't have to deal with snakes until there's one guy left. When there's one guy left, then they summon snakes. That's when they do it. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't beat this boss. He didn't fight this guy.
Is it an annoying attack? Yes. But is it cool looking? Also yes. Now, despite this, the Shadows of Yharnam is...
What is this footage?
Still one of my least favorite boss in Bloodborne. Belgarg.
He didn't say gargoyles correctly again. Yeah, no, like he didn't even give a reason. Shadows of Yharnam is the best multi-enemy encounter in the series. It's better than all the duos. It's better than all the trios. It's the best one. Shadows of Yharnam is the best multi-enemy encounter in the series.
The original Gargoyle fight.
Brother, if I have to hear this dude mispronounce gargoyle one more time.
And the best one compared to the rest. But despite that, fighting them both at the same time with the slowness of Dark Souls 1 can really get annoying. However, the fight is way more enjoyable when you get rid of the first one as quick as possible. And to be fair, the game gives you enough time to take down.
I could like not be mean, but like, dude, whatever. I've already said in this, like, I don't think he's played the series, so whatever.
The first one's help, so that managing the second one could be easier. Again, as much as I hate duo fights, I like both of them because both enemies aren't constantly on your ass, so that's why these guys rank a bit.
Yes, they are. One of them's constantly breathing fire, which pins you down, and the other one's attacking you with melee.
Because they give you breathing room. Taurus Demon.
What are you doing up here, Taurus?
Average boss.
Actually, this is about right for Taurus Demon, but dude, there's stuff below him that's just like, what in the world? How do you put Gwyn above the shadows?
Going on. The arena is a bit cramped, which makes it kind of annoying. However, just staying under his groin is the best option to deal with him. Also, the fact that you can get an easy plunge attack on him in the beginning makes this fight a pushover. But despite that, he does his job well as the second boss of the game, showing you what's to come later on. Celestial Emissary. These alien...
Like, bro, we're putting Celestial Emissary over the Shadows of Yharnam?
Reminded me of the Living Failures, mostly because they were all aliens. While the emissaries are a bit...
This dude said all blue people look alike. Chat, we got him. That's all the evidence we need. Cancel him. He's done. He said all blue people look alike.
Easier, they definitely look cooler. This fight starts off with fighting off a bunch of baby aliens until the big one spawns in. Now, the big guy hits hard, but sometimes bigger doesn't mean better, because in this case, he just becomes an easier target. And in no time, this boss fight is done. Difficulty wise, this fight gets a 3 out of 10, but in terms of atmosphere and visuals, it gets an 8. Leechmonger, a symbiotic monster ran by a legion of leeches.
Like, what is Leechmonger doing above the Shadows of Yharnam? Like what is even the case for this? What is the argument for this? Like, I need this information. This dude better convert me to his religion by the time he's done talking about Leechmonger here. Because I think this is... Listen, I love Demon Souls. The original game. This is like one of the most nothing bosses in the entire series. I have Leechmonger as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th worst boss in the series.
Gotta be high coming up with some shit like this. The fight itself is pretty okay, but don't expect anything too crazy other than it's self-healing. But as a melee non-gimmick fight, it's not too bad. Dirty Colossus, another pure...
Like, these are two
melee non-gimmicky fight from Demon Souls. It isn't too challenging, as the only hard part is getting through the horrible level prior. But at the end of the day, it's an okay fight. Elena or Elana the Scaly...
This is a little high for Elana.
Queen.
Scaled Queen. It's Elana the Squalid Queen. This is a little high for Elana.
Me a harder time than I thought, but to be fair, I was fighting her with a bonfire aesthetic that bumped that specific area to New Game Plus, and also my summon died towards the ending of the fight, making her...
I can't remember what exactly I had Elana at, but I know that's a little high. Elana was like 220, 225, yeah. 225 for Elana. A little high.
Or, you know, a bit more harder for me. Now, her...
Better than the Shadows of Yharnam. That's so funny.
The boss fight itself is rather mid, and in my opinion not super fun, as her gimmick is that she can summon a bunch of enemies to help her. The easiest enemies to deal with are the golden skeletons, but then she summoned Velstad out of nowhere,
casual.
And it brought up the difficulty of the fight. Her attacks, while deadly, aren't super hard to dodge, as she mostly relies on her summons and teleportations to catch you off guard. Overall, I don't really like bosses that relies on summoning enemies in order to make the fight more challenging. All in all, she's not super fun, but she isn't too bad.
This is a boss that could be a Night
Rain. I
Rain.
can only assume fighting her on a regular game cycle makes this fight much more tolerable. Adjudicator, a gimmick fight that...
Like, why is Adjudicator above the Shadows?
Cool for some reason. All you gotta do is hit its
like this again. This is another boss like Leechmonger that just sits there and dies.
Dodges high damaging sword swings and wait for him to fall so you can hit the golden bird on its head. That's basically the whole fight. But then again, I'm not gonna shit on it because I really like the design of this boss. The Rotten. The design of the Rotten is pretty cool, as it's a bunch of bodies fused into each other, creating whatever the hell this is. But in terms of gameplay...
That's his footage. That's his footage 100%. He rolled right into the fire and killed himself. That's 100% his footage. This is completely indicative of how this guy plays Souls games, 100%.
They're creating whatever the hell this is.
That's his
But in
footage
terms
right
of
there.
gameplay, he feels like a mixture of the Adjudicator minus the Golden Bird, of course, and the Dirty Colossus from Demon Souls. Overall, it's a pretty average fight. Nothing too special going on.
I'm going to operate under the assumption he is not including or forgot Champions Gravetender and Great Wolf. I'm going to assume he's either not including or he just forgot.
The fire in the arena, though. Aldia. I know Aldia gets a lot of shit from the community.
This is a little high for Aldia. A little high.
I don't know. There's just something
This
fun
fight
about
sucks.
timing your attacks properly, and while he's not one of my favorite bosses, I can't deny he's kind of fun at times. Crucible Knight and Misbegotten.
Like, brother, how is this better than the Shadows of Yharnam? How? Literally, how? It doesn't make sense.
Warrior. I find this fight more.
The only explanation is he never beat Shadows. He got filtered by Shadows of Yharnam. That's what happened.
If you bring a Spirit Summon with you, but there's not much more that needs to be said here because these guys are literally separate bosses that were placed together in one room. But the only reason why they rank a bit higher is because the moveset on each of them is pretty cool, especially the Crucible Knight. Tower Knight, a somewhat fun gimmick.
This is low for Tower Knight. Tower Knight deserves better. He does not deserve this.
Mechanically, it's pretty straightforward. Just take out its legs until it falls so you can hit his head, rinse and repeat. Now, the visual aspect of this boss is really cool as he's just a big-ass giant knight. I don't know, I just find that cool for some reason. But other than that, it's a pretty simple fight. Asylum Demon. This is how you do.
He's putting Stray Demon, Fire Sage, and Vanguard above Asylum Demon. So I'm going to say out of the 4 tutorial bosses, like, this is tutorial reskins is what I call them. Asylum Demon, Stray Demon, Fire Sage Demon, and Vanguard Demon. Asylum Demon should always be ranked the highest out of these. Because Stray Demon and Fire Sage are reskins of Asylum. And they're reskins of each other. And Asylum's better than Vanguard. So Asylum should always be the highest out of those 4, but he's the lowest here. I mean, he should always be the highest, but for some reason, he's the lowest here.
Boss fight. The Asylum Demon might not be the coolest looking boss, nor does it have a cool moveset, but it being simple is good enough because he's basically a great way of showing the player the basics of the game. Omen Killers. Before I get into the boss fight itself, I find the lore behind these guys really interesting. Apparently, as their name indicates, these guys go around and they kill omens. They even wear the masks that mimics the visages the omens see in their nightmares, basically just mocking them. But lore aside, the boss fight is rather simple but decent.
I mean, it's Capra Demon.
Their attacks do a lot of damage, especially their jumping ones, but other than that, there isn't anything to worry about. The fight itself isn't anything to write home about either, but I think they're decent enough to get placed in high D tier. Flexile Sentry. Okay,
this is a little too low for Flexile Sentry. This fight is so cool. This fight is so cool. No, he plays Capra Demon way earlier. Capra Demon was way earlier. Capra was like 5th worst in the series to him. But yeah, like 10th worst, something like that. But yeah, Flexile Sentry, this is a little too low.
Bosses have been really boring to talk about, and as much as I want this video to be a bit long, I'm not gonna force myself to yap about these boring ass boss fights. Like, holy shit. So yeah, I'm gonna just speed run the rest of D tier. Flexile Sentry, they're okay, I guess. Their design is pretty cool too. It's just 2 guys fused in one. That's kind of dope.
This is a cool fight. This is too low.
In
Old Hero, this is way too low for Old Hero. Way too low for Old Hero, man. Way too low for Old Hero. This fight is so good.
Boss fight. The level leading to him is actually harder than the boss itself. I also like how you have to use stealth in order to gain the upper hand on him. His design is pretty sick as well. Red Wolf of Radagon.
This is too high for Red Wolf.
Mom, can we have Sif? No, son, we have Sif at home, head ass. All jokes aside, the design of the Red Wolf
this is too high for Red Wolf.
It's kind of alright, and
I'm gonna assume he's not including Letta, maybe? I don't know.
His magic attacks, while annoying, looks pretty. Storm King. In terms of visual,
this is way too low for Storm King too. Like, while Rykard is the best boss to use this gimmick, this is the best gimmick boss out of Storm King, Maris, I think it's Maris from Night Rain, Yorm, and Rykard. Storm King is the best one. Storm King does the gimmick itself the best, but Rykard is the best fight to use the gimmick, if that makes sense.
Probably the best looking boss in Demon Souls. Gameplay wise, I'm kind of 50-50 on. On one hand, I really like the animation of the Storm Ruler, which gives this fight a cinematic feeling, but on the other, I really wish it was more than just, you know, that one charged attack. Giant Lord. Basically the same fight as the last giant.
And,
However, this time he
well,
has way more
the fight still
aura, and
sucks.
instead of using his arm as a weapon, he uses a sword instead. I'm gonna give this boss a 6 out of 10 in overall rating. I do like the fact that you fight him in the middle of a war though. That's pretty cool. Astral Star
Yeah, that fight's arena is very cool. Giant Lord's a very middle of the road fight though. It's nothing special. Actually, I'd say it's probably too high for Giant Lord. Estelle is a little low. I actually really like Estelle. I think this is a little low for Estelle for sure.
of Darkness. I don't like this version of Astral because the arena is less beautiful and he has way more health and does more damage. And yeah, he's just a reskin. Orin of the Water. I know it's a bit controversial.
It's a little low for Orin. Orin's like what? Yeah, 84 for me. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Put her this low on this list, but I'm not really a super fan of her. I don't know why.
Storm
Maybe
King.
it's
Yeah,
because
Storm
of
King's
her
awesome though.
weird movements and attack patterns, but yeah, she just didn't grow on me like how she did for some people. Her moveset is
Orin's a
pretty
little
cool,
low. That's
despite
low for
being
Orin for
weird,
sure.
and her design is also simple but oddly beautiful. But again, I just didn't enjoy fighting her. The Drunkard and the Glutton. These guys are actually somewhat fun to fight, but the only thing holding them
Is that? That's not too far off from where I placed him, right? Drunkards. Where are the Drunkards? I don't know exactly where I placed them. Yeah, this is one of the few that I actually don't remember the placement of. 86. Wow. Yeah, I just overlooked him. So yeah, I guess this. Yeah, it's a little off.
back is the entourage of enemies they have guarding them. But yeah, apart from
Rotten
that,
Breath. Is this his own footage? It must be his own footage. It has to be.
Bosses in Sekiro. Godskin Noble. I used to hate fighting this fat
Godskin Noble is infinitely better than Godskin Apostle. I'm sorry for anyone who needs to hear this really harsh truth. Godskin Noble is the vastly superior Godskin. Godskin Apostle sucks. Godskin Noble's better.
And the rapid thrust attacks are bullshit. Vanguard Demon.
Yeah, this guy should never be above Asylum Demon. Vanguard should never be higher than Asylum Demon. Never.
Similar boss to the Asylum Demon. A pretty basic fight, nothing too crazy. Onyx Lord. His gravity magic attacks looks fire and his sword looks cool too. His moveset is also somewhat deep, which is...
Wait, I didn't even include Onyx Lord. I didn't include this guy. Is this... This is an enemy. This is an enemy, a normal enemy with a big health bar. Right? That's what this is? One second. I'm checking to see if this is working. Is this working now? No. Okay. Alright, we'll have to do this another time. Alright.
Surprising for a mini boss. So yeah, at least he was a fun fight. Fell Twins. I like how the...
Bro, why are we including the Fell Twins, brother?
boss...
Go to the underground roadside. You go to the underground roadside in Elden Ring. You'll get to redo this boss. If you like it this much, you'll get to redo it.
It's just pitch black while these two monstrosities come out and start running towards you.
It's literally just the normal enemy.
The movesets are similar to any other Omen creatures in Elden Ring because they are literally just regular enemies thrown into a boss room. But apart from that, I still like them. Okami Leader. Remember the footballers?
What is Okami Leader doing here? What in the world? Where did I put Okami Leader Shitsu? I don't even remember where Okami Leader Shitsu is. Yeah, 188. That's what I thought. Yeah, I knew it was kind of low.
This guy's basically one.
Yeah, Fell Twins are a better duo boss than Shadows of Yharnam. A better gank boss than Shadows. You heard it here first.
Them. Believe it or not, I actually like.
I mean, you fight. You can. My story is a little different. Both are still very mid. Yeah, I didn't include him. Maybe I missed him. I don't know. Maybe I just missed him.
Finding him, especially when it comes on to lightning reversal, because it's a pretty fun mechanic. But I wish he had at least 2 health bars to make the fight a bit more challenging. Godskin Apostle. On his own, the Apostle is actually not a bad fight. His moveset is dope, and the Black Flame incantations...
Yeah, Okami Leader Shitsu's too high. Also, this is... Godskin Noble's better than this, okay? This is the inferior Godskin.
To heal, and he would just immediately throw a fireball at you. But apart from that, he's way better than the Godskin Noble.
No, he's not.
Dragon. To be honest, the only reason why this guy...
What? So we're putting Guardian Dragon above Lawrence, above Gaius, above Shadows of Yharnam, above Sin. That's crazy.
Because I have a soft spot for dragons, believe it or not. And
I don't believe you.
The arena looks looks nice. I mean, it looks like a giant bird cage. Cleric Beast. The Cleric Beast does an amazing job
A little low for Cleric Beast.
as a first boss because it shows the players what to expect from most beast-like bosses that's to come later on.
Why the solo? What, the Godskins? Godskin Apostle. I would say he actually plays Godskin Apostle about right. Godskin Noble's too low.
Game. His attacks aren't anything special, but the aggressive nature of it makes it clear that the game rewards an aggressive playstyle, and I really like that. Plus, remember when I said that most
This is a little
bosses
low for Cleric
in
Beast.
aren't memorable? Yeah, I
Going to a
take it
wall,
back.
it's so cool. I was nice to Guardian Dragon, but bro, that's
Everyone
too high.
remembers the screaming entrance of Cleric Beast. Headless Ape. This is another
Bro, I got blindsided by that. You gotta be kidding me. What? What is the ape duo doing
fight that
here?
probably shouldn't rank this high, but then
No, you shouldn't.
again, it's D tier, so who cares? This boss isn't really fun, mostly because one, it's a duo fight.
This
which
fight
is
is
weird
ass,
because
brother. This
Sekira's
fight
combat
is
system
not
mostly
good.
Focused on one-on-one encounters, and another reason why this fight kind of sucks is because it's basically the first and second phase of the Guardian Ape fight put together. But this time, you have
Right,
to
it
battle
scared
them
me
at
for a
the
second
same
there.
time. At least the female ape is somewhat easy to take down, but overall, this fight shouldn't exist. To be
Like this guy is one of the he has one of these lists where I'm like, how do you come to these conclusions? Is like, I don't understand how many spots above Gaius. A lot. This is at least like 50 spots above Gaius.
To be honest, I think I should have ranked it a bit lower, but I'm gonna just let it slide. Full
Like I like what? Why are you including Falling Star Beast twice? It's the same boss, I think. Maybe the blue ones can't do the laser. It's the same boss. Why is this 25 spots higher than Falling Star Beast?
grown Falling Star Beast. Pretty much the same fight as the regular Falling
Well, then why is it 25 spots higher?
Star Beast, except it's a bit bigger and has a bit more attacks. I think the fight is pretty cool, but everything I said about the baby Falling Star pretty much applies here, except that he's bigger, which I like. Pause. Black Knife Assassin.
I hate the Black Knife Assassins. I hate these things, dude.
They're all pretty
Black
decent
Knife
fights,
Assassins
and
are
they
so
also have
annoying.
A lot in their arsenal.
They are
The only
so
thing holding them
aggravating.
back is that they could have been a bit more flashy with some of their attacks, but that's just me though. And finally, at the top spot of D tier,
This
we
is
have
low
Udex
for Gundyr. This is low for Udex.
Here. You know what's crazy? I used to call this guy Ludex until I made this video. For some reason, I always thought it was an L, but no, it's an I.
Yes, because Dark Souls is notorious for not capitalizing the first letter of a guy's name. Yes.
Okay, that aside, out of all the first bosses I've mentioned so far, Gundyr is probably the best one tutorial-wise. The reason being is because moving from Dark Souls 2 to 3, you have to get used to the
Yeah, this is low for Gundyr.
faster paced combat, and Gundyr teaches you that very quickly. So no more strafing around and attacking, because this mofo will literally swing his halberd behind his back to attack you. He also teaches the players that never played Bloodborne that you have to watch out for the second phases, because most bosses in this game have that. At the end of the day, he's a good fight and an amazing first boss. And we're at the end of D tier. Finally.
Oh my
For
god.
some reason, D tier had the most bosses in it, but thankfully we're finished. But before we move on, I wanted to say that D tier had at least some enjoyable fights in it. However, while some were enjoyable, they're definitely not bosses that I'm excited to fight.
Oh
So
god.
let's move on to C tier.
Bro, we
And
still
at the bottom,
okay. This is fair. This is a good spot. Dude, we got how much more of this to go? We're not gonna finish
of
this
C
tonight.
tier, we have
We'll make good
Dragon
progress
Slayer.
on it. We'll have to come back and finish this another time. I don't have the energy for this.
Gold Dragon Slayer seems to get a decent amount of love from the community, mostly because he's a copy-pasted reskin version
Yeah, he's Ornstein, except he's in a better game.
of a beloved boss fight from the previous game. But despite him being a doppelganger, I actually like this boss fight a lot.
Doppelganger?
Ever since Dark Souls 1, I always wondered how it would be just fighting Ornstein alone.
He
and
sounds
in
bored. He
this
sounds illiterate. I'm sorry, that's mean. That's mean. It is, but that's the truth, bro. It's the truth. It's the truth.
This guy is the answer to that. Except he doesn't have any second phase, just like most of the other bosses in the game. Now, the one thing I do hate about this encounter and many other encounters in Dark Souls 2 is that trying to heal will get you killed more than anything else. And unfortunately, Ornstein's fanboy doesn't give you any time to heal because of input reading. All in all, he's a great C tier boss fight. Dark Lurker. First of all, the run back.
This
of
is low for Dark Lurker. This is low for Dark Lurker for sure. Ornstein with D. That's funny. Yeah, exactly. You know. Yeah. Dark Lurker. This is too late for Dark
It's
Lurker.
absolute trash, and I don't know what FromSoft was smoking, thinking that this was a back to this boss is absolute C-tier boss fight. Dark Lurker. First of all, the run back to this boss is absolute
Oh, the
trash.
run back. I was talking about the bosses though.
And I don't know what FromSoft was smoking, thinking that this was a good idea. Now, the boss fight itself is pretty mid, if you ask me. Don't get me wrong.
Oh no. Nothing. Never mind.
Kind of Dark Lurker looks cool as hell, as he looks like an angel born from the abyss, or at least corrupted by it. But his boss is kind of mediocre, if you ask me.
You know. Or not you. You know, thinking the same thing
He
I'm
has some
thinking.
cool but awkward projectile attacks, as the hitbox on them can be a bit bullshit. And he also summons a copy of himself into the fight. Man, I just
Let's say.
love when boss fights have multiple enemies you have to focus on. But to be fair, he's not that bad. I just think the run back drains all the energy I have before the fight, which makes fighting the actual boss itself not a fun experience. But despite the negatives, I'm still gonna place him here at C tier because at least he was a bit enjoyable. Ava the King's Pet.
Ava,
is actually quite
little-
a fun fight that only
This is about right for Ava.
is held back due to Dark Souls 2 jank, and by that I mean the unnecessarily slow healing time and some terrible hitbox. But apart from that, she's decent and one of the better bosses in the entire game. The arena looks cool as well, as it's not the typical bland or boring arenas that's in the rest of the game. Overall, I really like this fight, and if she just had a few more additional attacks, I would have placed her higher. Amygdala. I was originally
About right for Amygdala, yeah.
gonna rank the Amygdala at high D tier, but I thought this was a bit unfair since it's a very memorable boss, especially when it comes onto its design. I mean, the thing looks like a giant alien man spider. Visuals aside, the boss fight itself is your typical beast-like encounter, except its head is its biggest weakness. In its first phase, it will do the occasional ground stomp, and it will also shoot a laser beam at you. However, in its second phase, it gets enraged, and just like the last giant, it rips off its arm and uses it
Yeah,
as a weapon.
Amygdala's a fine
But instead
boss.
of one
Nothing to argue about.
This mofo pulls off 2 of them and starts swinging them aimlessly, and he also does a jump slam attack. Ultimately, while the Amygdala isn't my favorite boss in Bloodborne, it still holds a place in my heart due to the visual aspects alone. Godfroy. This boss should not
What? What?
exist. Period. It's literally a reskin of the much better Godric the Grafted. The only reason why I put him in C tier is because
What's this footage for fighting Amygdala? What was the footage? I was looking at my
I mean,
phone
the
for a
thing
minute.
It's only gonna rank the Amygdala at high D tier, but I thought this was a bit unfair since it's a very memorable boss, especially when it comes onto its design. I mean,
I don't think this is his footage, Lorenzo. This is not his footage for Amygdala.
Visuals aside, the boss fight
This is not his footage.
itself is your typical beast-like encounter, except its head is his biggest weakness.
He's
In
been
its
grabbing
first
footage
phase,
from
it will
several
do
different
the
places.
occasional ground stomp, and it will also shoot a laser beam at you. However, in its second phase, it gets enraged, and just like the last giant, it rips off its arm and uses it as a weapon. But instead of one arm, this mofo pulls off ultimately the visual reskin of the much better Godric the Grafted.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. What are you doing here, Godfroy?
To first phase Godric, which automatically means he's gonna rank a bit higher than most other bosses I've mentioned. Dragon Rider. I really like this fight, and I think it's one of the more underrated bosses in the entire
Yeah, fair.
game. I just have a
I mean,
soft spot
this might be a little bit high, but yeah, Dragon Rider's
for
okay.
gimmicky blade wielding boss.
Well, he's not gimmicky, but I mean, he's the tutorial. He's the human
I also
tutorial.
like how small the arena is, giving you a bit more challenge. Lost Sinner, one of the better melee bosses in this game. Her moves
Little high
basic,
for center. Little high.
gets the job done, but the only thing I dislike is the room not being big enough for healing, but that's it. She's pretty awesome. Royal Knight Loretta, Ghost version.
Oh, Blue Retta. Blue Retta's okay.
The Ghost version of Loretta is a pretty decent boss fight, especially considering the fact that it's supposed to be the weaker version. The only thing that can be a bit annoying about Loretta is her magic spam. Now, I know some of you might be wondering why I'm not as
I wouldn't include this just cause if I'm including Knight of the Howling Tree, I'm not including Blue Retta, but like whatever.
upset with Ghost Loretta compared to Godfroy even though they are both reskins of a better boss. Well, that's because Godfroy is a reskin of Godric, who is literally supposed to be a demigod, and the demigods are like the main bosses of the game. Not only that, but Ghost Loretta feels more like a clone created to guard the Carian Manor, while Godfroy is literally supposed to be another person who was a part of the Golden lineage. But instead of giving him his own unique
Yeah, he
design
hasn't put
moveset, they
Fortisax
basically
yet.
reused Godric.
I think
Basically, what I'm trying to
Fortisax is
say
probably
that
like
one of
stupidly
them had
high.
a great excuse to be a reskin boss, while the other one felt like a lazy excuse. Blue Smelter Demon. The Blue Smelter Demon.
What? Blue Smelter is above Red Smelter? But it's like it's the same boss except it's better. Like it's literally just an upgrade on Smelter Demon. I don't.
That gets severely dragged down because of the run back, and I know you might be saying that a boss fight should
No. Including the run back in your assessment of the boss is the sign of a weak mind and an even weaker character.
Be judged based on the boss itself and not anything around it, and to that I have to disagree, just a little. You see, the more annoying and frustrating the run back of the boss is, the more mentally frustrated the player is gonna
This guy seems like he is very, very often mentally frustrated. I'll give him that.
get while fighting that same
That's
boss.
mean. I shouldn't say
So in
that.
some ways it does affect the boss fight itself, and that's a shame because Blue Smelter is an actual decent boss fight. Sure, the arena is a bit
Nah.
cramped and the hitbox can be a bit wonky at times, but other than that, he's again a pretty decent fight. Too bad he's only a copy-pasted version of another boss.
He's quite different. Chains combos together differently. His timings are different. He's got a couple of different effects on him. Like he's got two different AoEs. Like his face transitions are actual AoEs. He's different enough.
Red Smelter.
Yeah, like if you're gonna stack them right next to each other, why is Red Smelter ahead of him? Blue Smelter is the same boss except he's better. That's all there is to it. Same boss except Blue Smelter's better.
Demon. Red Smelter gets a higher place due to it having a slightly less annoying run back. Don't get me wrong, getting to his boss room is still annoying, but nothing compared to the Blue Smelter. Overall, their attack patterns are pretty much the same, so there isn't anything more to talk about.
The attack patterns are not the same. He didn't fight Blue Smelter Demon. That's what I'm getting from this. He didn't fight Blue Smelter Demon. He did not. He saw somebody fight Blue Smelter. He didn't fight him. Let's see. Seaman of Dong himself. This is not better than Smelter Demon. Like, does this guy have streams of him playing these games? Does he have, like... Liza P, Dark Souls 3. Of course he played Dark Souls 3. Unreal Pro. I don't think so. I will have to look at this footage in my own time. I definitely will, because I am so curious how he plays this game. I am so curious, man. I have to look at that in my own time.
Song. Another decent boss fight that gets held back by the annoying level design before it. I don't know why Dark Souls 2 was trying its hardest to gangbang the players with as much enemies as possible. That aside, the visual aspects of this boss is really
Why are you talking about this?
With a design before it. Demon of Song. Another decent boss fight that gets held back by the annoying level design before it. I don't know why Dark Souls 2 was trying its hardest to gangbang the players with as much enemies as possible. That aside, the visual aspects of this boss is really cool. Like, who in their right mind came up with this design? And you gotta be high as hell to create some shit like this. And I mean that with the most respect. A human ghoul-like face with arms inside a frog's body, like, what? That aside, another thing I really like is the
Bro got
beautiful
shit on. You
The
see
boss
that?
fight itself
Bro got destroyed.
is a bit lackluster as you have to wait for it to show its face in order to deal good damage, but all in all it's a pretty okay encounter mechanically, but visually it gets a 9. Vendrick. Before finding
What are you doing up here, Vendrick? 112. What are you doing here?
Vendrick, I was kind of high.
This is way too high. Way too high for Vendrick.
because
Nah.
I heard he was one of the only bosses apart from Ancient Dragon to have a super high health pool. And when I went to the fight, I was kind of disappointed. His health was
Yeah, this
similar
fight's not good. What's he doing up here? Oh, no button.
to,
Whatever.
like Vendrick's fight.
I doubt he was.
Sure, it's not
I doubt he was gonna say anything of note anyway. Oops.
spectacular or anything, but the lore behind it is interesting as he went from this once great king to this zombie-like creature, which is kind of ironic now that I think about it, because that's literally how the last giant ended up, and they were both rivals, which is kind of crazy. And even due to the
It's almost like it was intentional or something.
mechanics and what you need to challenge him, he's still really strong at the end of the day. Crucible Knights. The
That's low for the Crucible
solo
Knight.
Crucible Knight
There's 110 bosses better than the Crucible Knight. I don't know about that one.
Bosses are some of the most underrated in Elden Ring. Because if you put guys like this in Dark Souls 1 or 2, shit, probably even 3, people would have been glazing them and placed them in their top 10 best bosses of those games, but whatever. However, while they get outshined by a lot of other bosses in Elden Ring, especially the main ones, I can definitely say that they are probably my third or second favorite field bosses. Their design looks dope, they have a lot of attacks in their arsenal that takes time to get used to, but isn't too overly difficult.
Oh,
The
man.
only thing I don't like about fighting the Crucible Knights is the fact that for how difficult they don't drop a lot of runes, which makes sense since they mostly reward the player with incantations, but I think that's one of the main reasons a lot of people, including myself, wouldn't go out their way to fight them. Literally, the first Crucible Knight that's in Lingrave gives a lot of first time players as much trouble as Margit, yet he only drops around 2,000 runes, but I still really like the Crucible Knight encounters, the solo ones. Commander O'Neill, a great boss held back by the annoying enemies that spawns around him.
I mean, he's more on the lines of he's held back by his status ailment. I hope he includes Commander Nile, because Nile's much better.
Please say that taking out the enemies isn't as hard because O'Neill is very passive aggressive, meaning that he doesn't really chase you around. Fighting him on his own is pretty fun too, and his design looks cool as well. Alecto, the Black Knife Assassin,
This is way too high for Alecto. Way too high. I hate the Black Knives. Hate these things.
Out of all the Black Knife encounters, she's definitely the toughest one. That's because unlike most other Black Knives, she has additional attacks in her moveset, and she has a pretty hefty health bar. What's crazy about Alecto is, if I remember correctly, she was most likely at the forefront of the assassination of Godwyn the Golden, which is kinda awesome. Overall, she's a pretty decent boss battle. Ancestor Spirits, I don't feel like ranking them separate.
What? This is okay. This is about right. This is about right. This is. But like, I'm just thinking about what's beneath them, and I'm like,
So
what?
I'm ranking them as 1. The Ancestor Spirits are a beautiful looking boss.
Yeah,
fight.
this is about right in
There's
terms of the
just something
placement.
Cool about fighting a giant magical deer that shoots glowing nut everywhere, but this is just your typical animalistic boss. There isn't anything too special going on. Their regular moveset apart from the glowing nut looks a bit boring, but that's about it. Seath the Scaleless. Seath the
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? No. No. Oh, that's funny.
The worst
Nah,
runback in
nah.
FromSoft history, and
Nah.
for that I had to take
Nah.
away some points. Now, that
Nah.
aside, I can at least say his
Nah.
ability looks beautiful, but he's somewhat easy to deal with. The best strategy is to not stand directly behind him, as his tail sweep does a lot of damage, but to stand in front of him under
He must have fought Seath from the DS one. He gave the second half more development time. Yeah, exactly.
arms or wear his weird front.
This is Seath if DS1 had another year dev time. See, it used to have a xylophone.
Leg is located, because that way you can avoid most of the cursed crystals and not having to worry about his tail sweep. Now let's speak on his moveset. It's really lackluster, but I'm
Well, then why is he here?
not gonna rip
I'm losing it, dude. I'm losing it. My voice is peaking, bro.
on him too much, since most of Dark Souls 1 bosses, except for maybe the DLC ones, they don't really have a super complex moveset. And to be honest, I'm thankful for that, because I didn't want this guy to be any harder, since again, the run back to this fight is painful to deal with. It's not nearly as bad as some other boss runbacks I've mentioned, but it's just super long. That's it. Overall, Seath is still a cool looking fight, and that's why
He hasn't said Metter, by the way. I just thought of that. He hasn't said Metter.
he's at C tier due to me finding enjoyment of the spectacle and lore side of his encounter. Shadow Tree Avatar.
Shadow Tree Avatar. I don't know about that one. Actually, I say that. That is actually about the right number. But what I'm thinking of is how, like, Metter is above him. Because I have Shadow Tree Avatar... Yeah, 109. Almost the exact same number. I have Shadow Tree Avatar at about the same level. But he's got Metter above Shadow Tree. Like, what?
While not being one of my favorites, it's still definitely a spectacle to behold.
Yeah, the number's
the
about
arena looks
right.
grungy but beautiful, and the design of the avatar itself looks pretty cool. Now, the fight itself isn't something I really enjoyed, mostly because I didn't really like, I'm not really a fan of fighting super big monster creatures. And the boss has 3 health bars, which definitely makes it feel like an endurance test at times. But all in all, I still think it's a decent boss fight, but I couldn't see myself putting it any higher. Dragon
Is this list worse than you thought? It's bad. It's bad. I don't know, man. It's bad. Where's Champion's Grave Tender? Like I said, I'm assuming he forgot him. I'm assuming he's just not on the list.
soldiers.
Dragonkin, this is too high for Dragonkin. Dragonkin's not that good.
Dragonkin soldiers are badass. Their moveset, especially the one in Noxtella, looks clean as hell, and their design is top tier. It looks like a man evolving into a dragon. The one
Gohyuk, I wonder why.
in the Scarlet Rot Lake can eat shit for all I care, but apart from that, they're all pretty cool. Aldrich, Devourer of Gods.
This is a fair spot for Aldrich.
The lore
Fair.
behind Aldrich
Good spot.
is insane. He was just a deacon or a priest that had an insatiable hunger for human flesh, and he began consuming people. I don't know if this is correct or not, but I think it's stated that he also ate kids as well, which is wild. He began consuming so much to the point where he became a living sludge. He died and then got revived, and now he's eating Gwendolyn alive. The boss fight itself is good for the most part, except for this annoying ass raining attack, which he spams a lot. But other than that, the fight itself is pretty okay. Nashandra. Despite Nashandra...
What are you doing up here, Nashandra?
A lot of hate from the
What are you
community.
doing
I actually
here?
somewhat like her boss fight. Sure, it's not spectacular or emotional, and for a final battle, she's kind of easy.
That's
but as
funny.
for the fight itself,
No.
I think it's pretty decent. But I do hate the cursed orbs that caps your health bar. Like, come on, that shit is so annoying. And I also hate that you have to fight Throne Watcher and Throne Defender before facing her. But that aside, another thing I really like is the fact that...
Well, yeah, but if you died in a Chandra, you don't have to restart at Throne Watcher, Throne Defender. What is he talking about? Yeah, it's a different boss. It's like, do you hate that you have to fight Gehrman to fight the Moon Presence? Like, what is he talking about? I mean, he probably didn't fight this boss. He probably just assumes that, like, if you die to her, you have to fight Throne Watcher and Throne Defender again. He probably assumes that, because he probably didn't fight this boss.
Versus the fog after us, which means that technically we are the boss. Like, come on, no wonder she's so easy. And let's not forget the OST playing in the background. But overall, Nashandra gets a bit too much hate from the community.
Yeah, we have not seen Priscilla
And
yet,
I think
actually.
she is a decent boss. Not amazing, but decent. Pursuer. Actually,
I'll say it's a little low for Pursuer. Wait, yeah, he hasn't ranked Moon Presence yet. Oh,
I
no.
really like fighting the Pursuer.
He hasn't ranked Debrietis yet. We'll see. This is a little low for Pursuer.
Pursuers a lot because everything about them is really cool. Their armor set and greatsword looks really badass. And speaking of armor set, why the hell can't the player wear it? Anyways, their moveset isn't the most outstanding thing in the world, as their attacks are pretty easy to dodge. The only thing that will mess you up is the sometimes awkward hitbox, but apart from that, they're pretty amazing. Samurai Generals. All the generals from...
Why are the Samurai Generals 150 spots above the Lone Shadows? Like, on my ranking here, like, I think they're one after the other, aren't they? Yeah, they are, like, pretty much. Niles in between them, but still. Because the Lone Shadows are pretty much just a direct upgrade on the Samurai Generals. Why are the Samurai Generals 150 spots above the Lone Shadows?
Sekiro, despite
So Space Emissary. But yeah. He placed those already. He placed those, like, shortly after Shadows.
being copy-pasted are done right in my opinion. First of all, it kind of makes sense they're copy-pasted because they're literally soldiers. Of course you're going to see them all around, and they're actually really fun to fight. Now sometimes they do have a bunch of enemies around them, but remember, this is Sekiro, so you can sneak around and kill all of them and get critical attacks on the generals. But again, fighting them is pretty cool. The dragons. Despite people
What? This is too high.
shitting on these guys, I actually kind of like fighting them sometimes. You see, the field dragons in Elden Ring are actually great on their own, and I want people to stop acting like they aren't.
Borealis of the Freezing Fog.
Because if you place them into any other game like Dark Souls 2 or 3, people would have been glazing them hard. I mean, they're even a bit similar to Midir, except they fly.
Borealis. That's all I need to say. Just Borealis. That's all I have to say. That's it. That's literally all I have to say. Like, he's like, oh, the Elden Ring Field Dragons are actually really good. All I have to say to counter this is Borealis. I have to speak his name. That's all I need to do. That fight is so awful.
Fly away more often than him. Now, the only thing I kind of hate is the fact that most of them are reskins. And yes, I did say that I don't have a problem with reskin bosses if they make sense. And in this case, they do, because they're literally
Like
dragons.
Borealis
They
is
could've
so
made
bad. Like it literally counters this whole paragraph he got here.
them, you know, a bit more interesting and gave them different movesets, not make the fights get super boring after a while. But I understand it would take a long time to do that. But still, it would make the encounters more fun. But as I said before, I think they get too much hate.
What fan base do you hate more, Last of Us fans or Expedition 33 fans? Bit of both, I'll say. Bit of both. Overall, I am going to say Last of Us fans, though.
That's all. Yorm the Giant. I remember seeing this
It's a little high for Yorm. A little high.
ass man running towards me, and I thought I would have the hardest time ever. And that did not turn out to be the case, because the Storm Ruler was sitting right there, and it makes the fight a complete joke. Now, despite that, Yorm is still kind of fun in a way, because you have to time your charge attacks carefully or he will knock you out of the animation. But other than that, there's not much that needs to be said about this boss.
A little high for
It's
Yorm.
pretty straightforward, but unlike others, I think it's, you know, pretty good. Iron Golem. First off, let me just say this. The boss design is fantastic. It feels
A little high for Iron Golem.
like you're fighting this giant robot, which I don't know, I find pretty cool. Its moveset isn't too flashy or memorable except for that bullshit grab attack, but its sheer size is
Little
what
high.
I like the most. Also, I didn't know you could stagger this thing, which is pretty cool. So yeah, not much more needs to be said. It's just a decent boss fight.
I do like
that's
Iron
what's
Golem,
in
though.
C tier. Murgo's Wet Nurse. You know what's
Good spot
crazy?
for
This is
Wet Nurse. Good spot. Good spot.
when the bosses in Bloodborne starts getting better again. And I say this because in the beginning of Bloodborne, you have some amazing encounters like Father Gascoigne, Vicar Emilia, and Parl, while a lot of the other bosses were kind of mid.
Wait, he hasn't said Parl yet. Hold on, brother. Hold on. What do
At
you
least in the
mean?
base game. But the Wet Nurse is actually really fun. I like how when you attack her, it sounds like you're hitting metal, and the visual design is pretty cool too. I also like the lore behind this fight, as she's the protector of Murgo, who is an infant great one, and your whole journey was to kill it. So now you have to face her before getting to Murgo. The fight itself is also pretty cool, especially the second phase where the whole room.
We're hoping with how many bosses we forgot who is he. Yeah, we might. I mean, like he had to have forgotten Grave Tender and Great Wolf.
goes
He
dark,
forgot.
and she
He
summons her
forgot.
clone.
100%.
Overall, she might not be like my
100%.
favorite boss in Bloodborne, but she's definitely a good one.
This is a good
Old
spot.
Demon King. I rather basic.
This is high for Demon King, brother.
boss fight, but in my
This
opinion,
is a
it's
high
pretty
for
low.
old Demon
I
King.
like the arena where you find him in, as it looks like hell itself. He also has some attacks that looks cool, but he's somewhat easy, which isn't a problem because
I'm assuming he's also not including Demon Fire Sage and Stray Demon, because it'd be really weird if they showed up now.
again, not every boss has to be hair-rippingly hard, but I feel like if he was a bit more challenging, he would be
This
bit
is a little
more
high.
Memorable. Four Kings. This fight really humbled me.
This
a lot.
is too high for Four Kings. The Four Kings are way too high. They are way too high.
Point where I had to go and defeat the Bed of Chaos and Nido before fighting them again. The issue I was having.
I
was
like the
amount
Four
of
Kings,
damage I
but
was
they're way
receiving,
too high
and
right
the fact
now.
that I didn't have any poise didn't make it any better. But after upgrading my armor to +8 and my Estus flask, I was able to tank a lot of their hits without worrying about receiving too much damage. Now, what I realized about this fight is to stay extremely close to them, as the damage they do up close isn't as much as getting hit by the purple end of their blade. Another thing I really
Four Kings, my
kinda
Bed of
like is the
Chaos. I don't like it, but it's not that bad.
in itself, it's just a pitch black void, and trying to get into the arena without the Ring of Victorious will get you insta-kill because of the Abyss. In essence, this is a fight a lot of people call a DPS run, as you have to hurry up and deal as much damage to them as possible and get the fuck out of there. At the end of the day, it still provides a decent challenge for the player, but if you ask me if it's one of my favorite fights, I would definitely say hell no. But not because I don't like it doesn't mean I can't really, you know, appreciate what the devs were trying to do. Flame Lurker. This guy's one of the coolest bosses
Yeah, good spot. Good spot for Flame Worker. Yep.
in Demon Souls, mostly because of his visuals. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the PS3 design looked a bit more better than the remake, and that's because it had a more sinister and twisted look. Flame Lurker was hyped up to be one of the hardest bosses in Demon Souls, and sure, if you played the game when it first released without prior Souls knowledge, I could see that, but I was a bit surprised to find out how easy he was. Now, some of his attacks, especially the ground
All these
style,
bosses are easy.
definitely has a wider hitbox, which makes dodging them a bit tricky, and he does move around a lot, but all in all, he's a pretty standard boss fight, and in my opinion, he's definitely the one, like, top 3 bosses in Demon Souls. Gravelord Nido. Going into
That's funny. Oh, that's funny. That's really good. 232 Grave Ornito on my list. That's funny.
Into this fight, I was a bit over prepared. At least that's what I thought. Honestly, if I didn't over prepare, I don't know how I would have handled this fight. First of all, he has a bunch of respawning skeletons that deal a good amount of damage to you. Not only that, but you also take a lot of damage by dropping into his arena. And also, as soon as you drop in and try to heal, he instantly summons a blade out of the ground that deals massive damage. But I was lucky enough to be at a high enough level and having a good armor. But difficulty aside, Nito is a decent boss with a cool looking arena, and his design is, dope as well. Overall, Nito on his own is cool and all, but his skeleton minions are a bit overkill in my opinion. But at least his attacks can hurt them, so it does balance it out a bit. Bloodstarved Beasts are really hyper.
This is high for Bloodstarved Beast. I like Bloodstarved Beast, but this is high.
Boss fight that can be easily cheesed. But without the cocktails, Bloodstarved Beast can be really frustrating. I remember how much of a bad time he gave me on my first playthrough, especially when he goes into poison mood, but
She's
his
easy.
attacks for the most part are somewhat easy to evade because all you gotta do is just dodge to the right of all his attacks and you'll be fine. I do really like his aggression though. Vicar Amelia, one of my favorite beast-like bosses from Blood.
About right. Maybe a little high for Amelia.
Her sheer size, presence, and aggression is the reason why I love this fight so much. Also, the screams she makes during the whole encounter is so horrifying. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this encounter does have a slight jump in difficulty, which is weird because of how early in the game she is, and she does have an annoying self-healing move, but apart from those things, Vicar Amelia is still one of the coolest bosses in Bloodborne. Osiris the Consumed King.
Good spot for Osiris. Respect it. Good placement for Osiris.
Before I get into the boss fight itself, I just want
I like Osiris. I'm a fan.
Osiris for a bit.
Good spot.
Osiris was once a king who was fascinated by the ancient dragons. He wanted to create a perfect heir to the thrones, so one day he was like, hey, you know what? Dragons are cool, and they're strong, so why not just transform into one, and then have a dragonborn child? He decided to transform himself into
good spot
a
for
dragon,
Osiris.
Instead of
I like him.
quote-unquote great, he looked like a crackhead, and his son Ocelot was born as a hybrid dragon, but for some reason he was invisible. During his obsession for power, he became mad and now he's here in the Garden of the Kingdom running around. Now during the boss fight, you can actually hear Ocelot's crying and seeing that Osiris is actually carrying him in his arm. The encounter itself is not really anyone's favorite due to Osiris's weird instantaneous charged attacks and the fact that he moves around way too much, making fighting him with bigger weapons more of a chore.
I should Demon Hatred high for once. He might.
I really like the lore so much to the point where I placed him in mid-C tier. Sanctuary Guardian.
No. No, sir. No. I simply say no. I had Sanctuary Guardian at 221 on my list. No, sir. No. This boss is ass, brother. This boss is not good.
Encounter of the Dark Souls 1 DLC.
Nah, this boss is bad.
In my opinion. The design itself reminds me of some weird chimera-looking creature that you would see in Greek mythology. Another thing that surprised me,
this boss is really bad.
It moves around a lot, especially compared to a lot of other bosses in Dark Souls 1. I can see this fight being super difficult if you try to fight it at lower levels, but by the time I went up against it, I was endgame level already, defeating the 4 major bosses.
Yeah, so this boss is really bad.
But you could say I was pretty confident for this fight, which is true because I was doing a lot of damage. However, the reason why I say this fight can be really tough for lower level players is because of the boss's agility. This thing does not stay still at all. You will be chasing him all over the arena only to get 1 or 2 hits in. He definitely feels like a boss that punishes tank builds, but at the end
this is way too high for Sanctuary Guardian.
Yeah,
way too high.
It's one of the better bosses in the game.
No, it's not.
At least its moveset isn't bland. Kalameet. I was honest.
This is low for Kalameet.
I'm honestly kind of scared going in to fight Kalameet because I've heard so much stories about him being the hardest boss in the game. But after defeating him, I kind of disagree about the whole hardest boss statement because Monos is still way harder than him.
Monos?
However, Kalameet is still a great dragon fight, and honestly, I'm impressed with him. Since he was from Dark Souls 1, a much more slower paced game. His attacks are cool, especially the Eye Gravity Slam, and one thing I realized while fighting him is that you have to be agile. I literally had to remove my Elite Knight armor set to a much lighter one.
Yeah. Kalameet's good. This is too low for Kalameet, for sure.
And
A little
it
too
quickly
late for
flipped him,
Calamite.
so I was more
Hello,
than
Ad.
enough to keep up with him. Because despite his size, this guy
You'll have to watch the stream back and see how bad it got.
flips around a lot, and being slow and heavy isn't gonna help. But nonetheless, Calamite is a great boss fight.
Yeah, Manos. Reminds me of how when me and Ethos would play Helldivers together, he'd say Carmanos.
At the end of the day, and he's definitely in my top 10 for best Dark Souls 1 bosses. 7 Ashina Spears. Man, these guys
Okay, this fight is goated. It is the best mini boss in Sekiro. I would say this is too low for 7 Ashina
gave me
Spears.
such a rough time on my first
Yeah.
playthrough.
This is
But
too
there's
low,
some,
but
if not my favorite mini
I'm
boss
glad to see
encounters in
him
Elden
place
Ring.
decently
I
high.
don't know why, but there's just something so satisfying about pulling off a successful Mikiri counter. Also like how if you implement stealth properly, you can get a drop on the one in the starting area of the game. But overall, both Ashina Spears are great, even though I don't like the fact that they made the second one have another strong enemy with them.
I mean, you
Well,
can
at least
stealth death blow the strong enemy. You just kill him immediately, and then you just fight the 7 spears. It's not a big deal.
stealth kill that said enemy. But
Yeah.
yeah, great bosses. Commander Nile.
Yeah,
If you ask
good
me,
spot for Nile. Well,
Nile is my
I'd say
opinion.
this is a little low for Nile, actually.
On Nile
But
a
yeah,
year or
I
two
like
ago, I
Nile.
would have
Love
told
him.
you that he was one of the worst bosses in the
Love
entire
Nile.
game of Elden Ring, and that he could rot in hell for all I care. And while I do believe that he should, still go rot in hell, he's definitely not one of the worst bosses in
Nah, Nile's
the
goated.
game. Because at least now I can take down his
Love
two
Nile.
soldiers pretty quickly, making the fight way more fun. They were the main reason why I used to hate this fight so much. And to this day, they're still the main reason why I don't really like fighting him. Now, fighting Nile itself isn't on Melania levels of difficulty, but he's still somewhat challenging. Mostly because he doesn't
Love
really give you
Nile.
a lot of time
Love
to
him.
attack him, and sure, some of his attacks are easily telegraphed, but as
Such
soon
a
as
good
he does
boss.
one, he starts immediately attacking you before you could finish your animation. But on the spectacle side of things, he's definitely a cool looking boss fight, so I give him that. Now, it might seem weird to rank Commander Nile over the Ashina Spears, but again, in terms of visuals, that's the reason why he gets bumped up. Priscilla, first of all, if you fight
What are you doing here? What is Priscilla doing here? I mean, I like Priscilla, but like, brother, this boss has 2 attacks. No, I take it back. She has 3. She has 3 attacks. She has a double swing with the scythe. She has 1 swing with the scythe, and then she has like ice breath, and then she turns invisible. Yeah, he's a Priscilla simp for sure. This boss has like 3 attacks and dies in like what 7 hits or something like that. Like this boss has no health and no attacks. Like what is this boss doing at 85? Above Nile? Literally no.
Priscilla, you're
Like, it's not
automatically
possible.
weird to me. But for the sake of this video,
it?
Priscilla, first of all, if you fight Priscilla, you're automatically weird to me.
All
But
bosses,
for the sake
man.
of this video, I had to. And her fight is definitely decent, but I do hate when she goes invisible because, I mean, it's not really fun fighting an invisible enemy. But overall, her attacks are decent.
Fluffy
and she
tail.
makes a pretty fun boss. But the dialogue after killing her is a bit sad. Quelaag. Quelaag is a fun fight for
Too
the
high
most
for
part.
Quelaag.
Sure, her
Quelaag's too high.
difficulty isn't through the roof if you fought her at their
We're gonna
peak.
get down to number 75, and then we'll
Level
stop for the
up.
day.
She's
We'll
still
finish it up
good
another time.
regardless. Her arena is pretty neat as it feels like you're in a spider's nest. One thing I kind of
How much is left
the
here?
lava her bottom half spits out all over the
So
place.
yeah, okay, yeah,
so
we'll
very
get to
useful
the end
for
of C tier.
straight
We'll get to C tier.
water at times. But overall,
finish at
while
C tier and
her
then we'll
moveset isn't
stop.
super complex or anything, she gets placed in C tier due to her being a good and
Yeah,
memorable
this is
encounter.
too
Vort
high
at the
for.
Boreal Valley. Vort is an amazing.
Well, this is
second
too high for
boss.
Vort,
One,
too.
because his music goes so hard.
This is too high for Vort.
And 2, he moves around a lot, but his attacks are also easily dodgeable. I don't have much to say about him, but he's just an amazing boss fight.
I just
That's
want some
it.
monster
Round
woman.
Table Vike, one of the better
It's an NPC! What do you mean? Why is an NPC this
I
high?
wish Vike was given that boss encounter feeling right
Millennia Maria, you might be onto something. Why is an NPC this high?
than just being a buffed up player type NPC with a boss health bar. I do like his lightning attacks, but one thing I hate is the fact that for a guy wielding a big and slow weapon, his attacks will always hit you before you hit him. I don't know how to explain it. No matter how fast your weapons are and he attacks you after you attack him, his
Yeah, this was a lore
spear
placement for
will
sure.
always hit you before you get to hit him. I don't know, maybe I'm just bad, but other than that, I wish his boss fight was treated with more love, due to him being on the literal cover of the game. And his lore is also interesting due to the fact that he was the close.
Crazy that they cut like the whole they cut like half the story for the character that's on the cover art of this game. That's so crazy to me. That's so crazy. That'd be like if Artorias was an NPC fight. Isn't that just insane? That'd be like if, like, you know, you bought the Artorias of the Abyss DLC and he was an NPC fight. Wouldn't that be crazy? That's basically what this is. Vike is literally the guy on the cover. He's literally the guy on the cover and he got reduced to an NPC fight.
Closest to becoming the Elden Lord.
Slave Knight Gale, but it's just the summon Gale that you can have with you. That's what this is. I was like, "Car is a ambulance going by." But yeah, this is basically like if Slave Knight Gale and Artorias were NPCs.
Lord before us, but he abandoned his mission to save his maiden. At least that's what I remember.
Yeah, Vi. What is this?
Overall, he's a decent enough boss to be ranked in C tier. One Reborn. The one. One Reborn looks like if someone took a shit and it mutated into whatever the hell this thing is. The cutscene for this boss was actually pretty cool. Disgusting but cool.
What is this? What is it? Why did you make this video? Delete this.
The actual boss. But unlike the Tower Knight, this guy isn't really a gimmick and it actually puts up a fight. It has some attacks that can literally one-shot you if you aren't careful, especially the one with the raining bodies. But if you know what you're doing, this boss can be a walk in the park. Overall, I think it's a pretty decent boss. Sure, its movement is limited and it has some annoying attacks, but overall, it's still one of the better fights in the main game of Bloodborne. Erdtree Avatar.
No, it's not.
Despite a lot of people hating on them,
why does he put a space? Why does he put a space in Erdtree? He does that for everything.
These guys, except the Scarlet Rot ones. The reason being is that they have such a simple but cool moveset, and that's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, it's called the Asylum Demon moveset, boss.
After fighting multiple enemies with insane combos, they're also an upgraded version of the Asylum Demon from Dark Souls 1, and come on, who doesn't love the Asylum Demon? Gyobu Oniwa. This man is
a little high for Gyobu. I'd put Gyobu a little lower.
He enters in by screaming his name out the top of his lungs, and he's also on an overgrown horse. Now, in terms of Sekiro main bosses, he isn't really in my top 5, but I can't deny, his fight was pretty amazing. While there isn't anything too spectacular about it, it plays well, and to be honest, that's all I want. Gyobu is one of those bosses that requires you to stay close to him, as he oftentimes retreats from the player, but thanks to the grappling hook, he can keep up to him pretty easily. Again, he doesn't have any crazy super attacks or any
this is a good boss.
Other than
a little high on the list, but yeah.
Him riding a horse, but at the end of the day, he makes a good boss fight. Rennala. First of all, let's get this out of the way.
No.
Rennala's first phase, while
this dude's a simp. That's what it is. He's 100% a simp. He's putting all the female bosses so high.
Not bad, definitely hinders the fight a lot. It's pretty similar to the Deacons of the Deep, where you have to attack the enemy with the glowing aura around them, only difference being that after killing the 3 clones with the golden aura,
he actually is just a simp. That's crazy.
First, and you have to attack her until the bubble forms around her again, and you have to repeat the process again until she runs out of health. This can be a drag if you don't have a high damaging weapon, and to be honest, as much as I like the creativity of the first phase, it's still kind of boring. Now the second phase is where everything kicks into place. Her daughter Ranni,
this fight's okay, but this is too high.
In and uses her domain expansion, and now you're fighting Rennala in her prime in one of the top 5 best looking boss arenas. The fight itself is pretty exciting.
I mean, okay, listen, it does look cool. However, I do have to say, it is just a lake with the moon in the background. I do have to say that. You know, he says, oh, top 5 best looking arenas. It is a lake with the moon in the background.
And I really like how they make her feel like an
it looks good, but no, it's not one of the best looking ones.
Actual sorceress with the amount of magic attacks she has in her arsenal. Now sometimes these magic attacks, while beautiful, can be really annoying to deal with, especially since they do a lot of damage. Most times she'll just
get me to the end of C tier
continuously, and once you get close to her, she immediately summon an enemy, whether it's a dragon, a bloodhound knight, wolves, or a troll. They can definitely make the fight more annoying, but at the same time, I kind of like this because it gives a sense of difficulty for a somewhat easy boss. Just make sure you have a good amount of health while fighting her. Regular Tree Sentinels. The Tree Sentinels are some of the coolest bosses
A little
in
high.
Elden Ring, and I'm pretty sure they give a lot of players PTSD. I remember going outside for the first time, seeing one of these guys and being super overconfident, only to get my ass torn out a million times.
A little
They
high for
sure
Tree
know how to
Sentinel.
humble new players, and I kind of like that. Their design is also sick, and I'm disappointed that we won't get armor skins for Torrent, because it would be awesome if we could dress Torrent like a Sentinel horse. Come on, FromSoft, that's literally a missed opportunity right there. That aside, the Tree Sentinels doesn't really have like any attacks that are hard to dodge except for that trash ass shield bash. So all it takes for you to beat them is patience and just knowing which attacks to punish.
Come on.
Overall, they are what I would call a medium
Let's
difficult
get
boss
there.
fights. Since their attacks are pretty easy to dodge, it's just that one, they hit hard, and two, the shield
I've had my
bash
fill of this
had
video,
some,
man, so far.
weird hitbox on it. All in all, the
get to
Tree
the end of this
Sentinel
tier.
serves as great mini bosses. Moving on, Night Cavalries, almost the same.
I
as
mean,
the
you
Tree
could have threw these
Sentinels,
guys in the same placement. You could have thrown these guys in the same placement.
except you can knock these guys off their horses for a short time. The Night Cavalries are a bit harder since they have some attack that relies on input reading, like the jump attack, but overall my opinion on them is the same as the regular Tree Sentinels. I think they serve as, great, excellent mini bosses. Golden Godfrey. I really like Golden Godfrey. because
Godfrey.
he's basically
I wouldn't include Godfrey.
Godfrey, but on his first phase. To be honest, I'm not going to say too much about the golden version because everything I want to say about Godfrey will only be about the real version.
Why does his
But
C tier extend all the way into the 70s? Like, the bosses of this series are better than that, man. Like, what is this?
Golden Godfrey is still a great boss, even though it's a lesser version of a already great
Like, his B tier doesn't start until the 70s. That's crazy.
late game boss. Promise
One sec, looking for something. No, okay, then. Consort
Consort
Radahn.
Radahn. I was shitting on the second phase of Consort Radahn.
If we're talking pre-nerf, then sure. If we're talking post-nerf, then no. This is too low for post-nerf Radahn. But yeah, why does his B tier not start until the 70s?
So I'm just gonna
What?
change
This dude hates the Souls series. This dude hates this series, bro. What
it
is
up by just
this?
summarizing the negatives before I get into the positives. The main issue I have with Radahn is the second phase, obviously, as it's really hard to tell what's going on from all the blinding lights and the amount of times he gets
Blinding
stunned
Lights. This good song.
by one of his holy beam attacks. But all that aside, I think Consort Radahn is a decent boss at the end of the day, and I really love the first phase. But yeah, unfortunately, the second phase really made me hate this fight. Also, another thing I love is the fact that we get to
Post-nerf Radahn is good. So the guy who thinks Bowser's peak boss design. Maybe. Because this is crazy.
fight Radahn again. I know a lot of people hated that, but me personally, I really like the fact that we, get to fight him in somewhat of his prime. It's
I
not
don't.
necessarily his prime, but you know what I mean. Great Shinobi. Oh, man, I used to hate this boss so much because the flow of combat isn't really there. Sure, both of you will be clashing and deflecting each other's attacks, but then he would throw a debuff bomb at you that will make you unable to heal for a period of time. I just think this breaks the flow of combat, and what's worse is that in his second phase, he starts throwing around poison.
There's 72 bosses better than Great Shinobi Owl. Who? Who are the 72 bosses that are better than Great Shinobi Owl?
Which will limit the area to fight him. Plus, he's also constantly reducing his posture damage, and this wouldn't be an issue if the fight was short, but this fight can go up to 5 minutes, and by then you're already mentally drained. But the reason why he's at high C tier is because I've grown to somewhat like this fight.
Yeah, like look at this. His C tier doesn't end until number 72. His first B tier boss is 72. This dude hates this series, dog.
Is he my favorite boss in Sekiro? Hell no, but at least now I can appreciate it. Dark Beast Parl. Visually, Parl is one of the best looking bosses in Bloodborne. I mean, he looks like you're fighting Thor's rejected pet or something, and
this is one of the best looking fights in Bloodborne. You know what, chat? You know what? He might be onto something. Welcome to Dark Beast Parl, chat. Yes, Dark Beast Parl. Yes. Yes, Parl. We got to end the stream there. I'll come back to this later. I'll come back to this another time. We'll finish it soon. I'll come back to this soon. But, yeah. This is crazy. I'll come back later. Sometime this week. I'll come back sometime this week. I appreciate everybody coming out. Laverne, you know, ad. One sec. Yeah, sorry about that. We'll come back soon. Sometime this week and finish this. Nah. Nah, this isn't true. This just flat out isn't true. We'll come back and at Dark Beast Parl sometime this week. That's crazy. That's insane. That's crazy. Appreciate everybody coming out. You know, Ad, Laverne, Lorenzo, Casual, everybody. Appreciate you coming out to this impromptu stream. So yeah, I'm out of here. Y'all take it easy. Have a good one. That's crazy. y'all have a good one though.